Sammy, come in, guys. Those of you that are watching the pre-recording, hi. Okay. Hi, guys. How are you? Just go ahead and chat when you get in here. Hi there. You haven't been live for a while. I was getting a bit drained because there's so much frantic energy, but I think I've got some of it taken care of here. There was a lot of projecting going on, so I've been trying to clear some of that out a bit. So, guys, if people are projecting their wounds on you, like, have some boundaries with that, okay? Because otherwise, they're just like trying to get you to basically, be their filter to clear their pain for them, which you're not able to pacify somebody who doesn't want to like fix their wounds, you know what I'm saying? So, or they want you to like be the punching bag, like take my garbage, because I don't want to deal with it. And they're upping their game. It's a tactic to get energy, you guys, out of you. For some of you that aren't fearful, or you're in your power, you have confidence, okay. People want that energy and they will try to get you to feel bad, to give it to them, you guys. They'll try to get you to give them a pity party, sympathy for things that they don't want to fix, or things that they're enabling in their environment that's not your problem. Okay, this is like a huge one. And then they'll try to blame you and find a reason why. And, like I've been saying, the biggest one I'm seeing now is you don't respect my opinion, after they just did a bunch of bullying and passive aggressive and emotional manipulation. It's not being given with love, it's being given with aggression and from a wounded state. So just be aware of that and don't take it. I really don't suggest you take it, because I have plenty of you that have different views and I don't care, because you guys are not throwing it at me with hatred. Okay, so big difference, and I can feel it, because I can feel the energy when I know that there's going to be a comment or something coming. So just be aware of that. And don't feel you have to take people's crap, okay? If they want to try to blame you, trigger you, you don't have to accept the trigger. Don't accept it, because I know your masculines are trying to trigger you right now. Some of you, I know they are, okay? You don't want to repeat that shit. Don't let yourself repeat that abandonment wound again, you guys, okay? So that's what I was going to discuss also, is there's a massive like sacral blockage with you guys, because I always tune into the collective energy before I actually read, and I was feeling a massive block there, okay? So what that is like sexual issues or sexuality issues or self-esteem issues, that sort of thing. And there's like a massive block for a lot of you there, and I feel this a lot in the collective. Okay, so I feel a lot of you have a sexual wound as well, or just a wound with your confidence and how you feel and how you look, and people are trying to beat you down out of that confidence right now, so that might be causing the blockage as well. Okay, but I feel like a lot of you, and you don't need to say who you are because it's none of my business, I feel like a lot of you have sexual abuse history, and this is also something that's coming up, and it blocks the sacral. And it's a wound that I feel like a lot of people just ignore, and they're scared to work through. And I also know that some of you are celibate, which I'm not judging, okay? But you're waiting for one particular man that's not giving you love back. And I feel like this may even make the wound worse sometimes, to wait for somebody who's not giving back to you or not loving you and helping the heart space. Thank you for the donation, Moonsea. So, man, I'm not telling you to go sleep with people, okay? You don't have to do that, but you can masturbate. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid to explore yourself, okay? This will help the blockage as well. There's like cosmic masturbation, or I can't remember the other words for it. There's ways to explore yourself and help heal this wound and that sort of thing. It's okay to masturbate, ladies. You don't have to not do it, okay? It's okay. I know that society has made that into a bad thing, so it feels bad, or like you know, horrible to touch yourself. So then it's done in a place where you feel embarrassed or shamed, which just makes it worse. Okay. So, you know, get yourself off. Okay. That'll help you. Do some exploring. Okay. Do some exploring. Yeah, it's okay to masturbate. You don't need to sit and try to send sexual energy to the masculine the entire time, okay? Like, give it to yourself, you know? Um, like I said, if you're sending continuous energy to somebody who's not giving it back or returning it or returning that love back, you know, it's going to just hurt you more, you know, if that wound surfaces, the abandonment wound, that sort of thing. Be careful with like astral sex with somebody who isn't aware that's going on, because like I said, there can be entities that are disguising or shape-shifting. Okay, I know that happens. I've seen it. I've seen entities up there do like literally wearing the skin of other people trying to get sexual energy. It's absolutely disgusting. Okay, so I'm not one that's always like for just trying to have astral sex with somebody who doesn't know what's going on. Okay, because you don't know what you're gonna get in. All right. So explore your sexuality. That's like a big message, you guys, for the collective, is explore that and, you know, help heal those wounds. And not only do you heal your inner wounds, you also send that energy out to the collective to help heal theirs as well. Okay? So tantric masturbation, I think that's the word for it. Okay? There's no law out there that says that, you know, you have to be celibate from even having an orgasm until somebody comes, you know. So you're free to do what you want. Okay? If you have sex with somebody who's not balanced with you and not giving that even exchange and you're wanting more out of it, then that can also cause more blockage as well. Okay? No, literally, you guys, it can give bad energy. Like, and people are like, oh my God, I got all this sexual energy, and you weren't open to it. And it's like, you know, I think there's probably some entities out there. All right? Because there are entities that literally send out sexual energy just to get an energy feed off you. Okay? And there are men out there, you guys, and just be aware of this, because I have discovered at least 2 or 3 now who literally target people on the internet and pretend to be a twin flame or soulmate or some shit, and they'll come up in the chat, like Lewis was one of them, and trying to gather information by sending out a cord to get information out of you and energy out of you, so they would try to act like they knew you. Okay, he didn't know me, he's just pretending. I'm not stupid, I was onto that one. But they do that, and then they put a device on you and the masculine to get information and get energy and siphon out of both of you. And then they try to present themselves like they're the masculine. And I know there's been a lot of readers that are like, oh, it's my masculine, I know he's got a fake account, he's doing this and that. And I think it might be one of these men doing that crap. Okay, like a little sociopathic. Okay. And I've known a couple men, you guys, that target women that do readings, and they say the same shit to all of them, even trying to pretend to be their friend, you know, and they're like, oh, I have a twin flame too, and they trying to buddy up, and they have an agenda behind it. Okay, so yep, I blocked him out. I figured him out. I was already onto it anyways. He tried to put devices on me. He couldn't. He didn't let him. Yeah. You guys, there was literally a masculine going around and chatting it up with women and being like, oh, thanks for being a good friend. I have all this unconditional love for you. I have all this and that. And then talking about their twin flame connection and trying to get women to admire him and that sort of thing. And literally like doing this to a ton of different readers and saying the same shit to all of them. You remind me of my twin flame. You look like them. And it's like my twin flame is talking through you, and like trying to almost manifest these individuals to be whoever their so-called twin flame is. And I don't even know if like they even had one, for all I know. Like, and I caught on to that as well. And a couple of these people on YouTube that this individual got wrapped up with, They actually went off YouTube and their whole business shattered. So these men, or there are some of our women, I'm sure, are out to completely siphon and destroy. Okay, so be very careful. Be very careful. And they'll act like your best friend. And that's where always trusting everybody is dangerous. Okay. So, see what's going on with the feminine collective, you guys. Yep, that's why, you know, being in the astral, you gotta be really careful. There's a lot of nasty up there. There's a lot of shape-shifting. And once you keep raising your vibration above all of it and get these cords off you and these siphoning energies off of you and ascend and everything, they can't shapeshift for you anymore. Okay? Like you're going to see right there, they can't. Because they're lower vibrational energies. And they'll act like a spiritualist. They will. They'll say they're healers. They'll say they're readers. They'll say they're all these shit, you guys, and they'll come off like that. But, total AI, total artificial intelligence. So there's gonna be a shut off with the artificial intelligence. I feel around the 11th. Like for me, it's already shut off. Okay. So I've been dealing with some sort of purging and stuff like that as well, because every time it shuts off, there's always like this anxiety and panic that comes along with it, and this resurfacing of things that you maybe didn't face all the way. So it can be painful and it can drive people to suicidal thoughts. Okay, so just be aware. All right, and when it gets shut off, you guys, the dark also has a plan with it as well. They strengthen it. So when it goes back on, it's easier to implant and control you. Accidental husband. You can post it in the comments when I get off or email it. My email is pretty full though. I'm sorry to those of you waiting for a response. I just had hiccups, you guys. I get hiccups off you guys all the time. Yep, there's going to be past wounds coming forward, you guys. That's why some of you, the masculine, is going to come in and try to trigger you. I feel that happening to some of you. They're going to attempt to trigger or a reminder of a wound or the rejection that they gave you that you've been working through. And they might use guilt behind it as well, because some of these men, they know what they're doing. Okay, because they're sitting in a wounded feminine, that's why. Okay, so also the wounded masculine and feminine, you guys, the feminine runs the left side, the masculine runs the right side of your body, physical and spiritual. That's where there's quantum physics involved with the, you know, the balancing act. So I feel like that a lot of people that have a lot of issues on the left side of their body, primarily, like even like, you know, weakness or like, I notice a lot of men limp on their left side, whether it was an injury or not, is something that I've kind of noticed. And I really feel that a lot of this is correlated to a distorted feminine, you know, and so this can be a mother wound and stuff like that, and then the right side issues can be a father wound. You know, I've had miscarriages, so they're terrible. I don't care who it is. A miscarriage is absolutely very painful. Okay, so send her, you know, love and wish well on that, okay? That's my recommendation. You know, it's not for you to judge or, you know, that sort of thing. That's horrible. I wouldn't wish that on anybody at all. So I feel sorry for whoever had 2 miscarriages. It's absolutely shattering, okay? And I really don't like people calling people the karmic, like they're just some horrible person, okay? I really don't. I think that's just, like, not very nice, okay? And I think it's just an excuse to put one above somebody. So just be careful with that word and why you're using it and how you're using it, okay? Because there can be karma around jealousy issues and judging you guys as well. That's happening as well, okay? It's one thing if you're saying toxic masculine energy, toxic feminine energy. It's one thing if you're calling somebody toxic, you're calling so-and-so toxic, a karmic, a this, a that, and, you know, so just be aware. just be very aware, and you just be very careful with your thoughts right now and what you're putting out, because you're going to get that back. All right. Some people see the truth as like attacks, and that's not necessarily the case. Okay. Yes, purging past, big one right now. Okay, and speaking of that, I feel like a lot of you you're purging deception behind unconditional love, and this came up the other day. Okay, so you may be purging a large abandonment wound. Okay, and I feel like this abandonment wound, you guys, is like, you know, it's all the times that you thought you loved somebody, and you thought they loved you back, and they didn't love you back, and you were give, 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 give. Okay, because I know a lot of you are like give, 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 give to people, your lovers, right? And that's where there's like boundaries with unconditional love, and you know, not just giving somebody a bunch of items that shits in the hand that feeds them. Okay, if that makes sense. Or, you know, I know a lot of you give items, you give love, and you want acceptance, and you didn't get that acceptance back, so you're recognizing the deception here, and you gave yourself to death, literally. And the reason why is because you weren't open to actually receiving unconditional love from other sources, only just somebody that wasn't giving it to you, or wasn't willing to open up their heart. Okay, and for a lot of you, this individual, and this can be your parents, it can be your friends, it can be anybody. A lot of times we seek out, you know, validation from emotional unavailable individuals because that's all we know. Because that matches our broken hearts, right? And I feel like we're trained to do that. And when it actually happens where you haven't even exchanged, it's you know, a lot different. We're not used to it. So that's one thing we're learning is unconditional love, and not to give it with vengeance or expectations, and understand that somebody may not return the love to you that you're giving to them, and you can't force them to do it. They don't want to open their heart space. And I think a lot of people think, oh, I can only receive love from one person ever. Okay. And, you know, it's like my husband and I discuss this a lot. Like, love in the collective should be the same for everybody, and not just, you know, I can only love this person and I can't love anybody else. I can't love my friends. You know, love is the same in a sense, right? It's just that you should be able to love your mom 100%, your wife 100%, your husband 100%, your children 100%, because the love keeps expanding. And I think that's a concept that people struggle with as well. I can only love one person. I give all my love to that one person. I love my kids differently. When it's kind of the same love in a way, you just have a different relationship with them, right? So you can love everybody the same, you know? This is a tough one for the masculines, because they have closed heart spaces, and they do, and they may not want to admit to it. And you tried to give them love and they rejected it, and they didn't take it. Okay? Instead, they took your love and they started to use that energy to give it to everybody in their environment that isn't really giving them love either, right? So pretty soon you got this uneven energetic exchange. Okay? Because a lot of them are dealing with women that don't give it to them, and they're dealing with, you know, parents that don't, and they think they do because they're in the delusion of that. Okay? And it's like a world of wounds, right? So pretty soon you got this uneven exchange, and I feel like the feminines may be recognizing this uneven exchange, you know, and okay, so I don't have to leave space open, or, you know, I don't like the concept of I'm always going to leave space in my heart for an individual. I'm going to hold space. You don't have to, because an empty heart or half full heart, and you know what I'm saying, like, that's leaving room for wounds. That's leaving room for bad things, right? Your heart should always be full, because there is enough love and abundance out there to receive. Okay? So I know a lot of you, you begged for love. You begged, you gave it, and you were under the, you know, impression that they were giving it back, and they really weren't. Not the way that you deserve, not the way that you wanted. And you deserve love. Everybody deserves love. And that's where people are struggling to understand that you can give it to everybody. You know, it's gotten to be a selfish thing. It's gotten to be with conditions, and that's a lot of the problem in this world, is that it's conditions. Oh, it's taboo to give it to that person because then it looks like that, you know, I have a crush on them, or, you know, it's bad to give it to so and so, or, you know, whatever, or they favor a child and give more love to one child and not the other. It's bullshit. It's really sad. And this, you know, uneven balance with unconditional love is a lot of reason why people are behaving the way they are. Okay? So, yeah, give it to yourself. But be open to receiving it. Okay, because there are other people out there like you guys that like to give love to everybody too. It's not, that's why I'm saying, like, don't spend the rest of your time, the rest of your life waiting for an individual that may not give that love back. And you know what, you guys, every asshole that took advantage of your heart space, they will regret it one day. Okay, they will regret it. But I'll tell you what, there's men out there that had women that begged for love and tried to buy it, and they told them they didn't want them, and they were happy to get that woman out of their life. Okay, so there's a difference as well. Okay, but for some of you that were truly, really genuine and really good to this individual and they just rejected it, they will be sorry one day. They don't know what love is. And you have to know what it is, and you have to love yourself to know what it is, in a sense. You don't have to be perfect. You're always going to be a bit wounded. But I just feel like people, they don't know how to accept it, because it hurts, right? To actually learn to accept it. So that's what I'm seeing, is you guys are understanding the deceptions behind unconditional love, and you're seeing all the conditions that have been given to you. Okay, so you're kind of watching and everything like that, and I feel like that there's a rejection wound that's surfacing, and it's coming back to hit you. Don't take it. You're going to get triggered with this abandonment wound. Okay, and a lot of times this is projection. And I know these masculines, they like to play victim too. I've seen it. Well, remember when you did this or that? And then they want you to forget all their shit they did to you, right? Well, let the past go. But remember when you did this to me? And it's just it's intentional trigger. And it's just like there's so many people doing this kind of behavior right now. And I'm getting really, really tired of it. Okay, and I had a couple of friends that totally deactivated their Facebook accounts because they're one of my friends. I helped him recognize like distorted masculine and feminine. And he's just like, I just couldn't take the whining anymore. I can't handle that stuff anymore, And I totally get it, because I don't either, because we're adults, right? And at what point do you take accountability for yourself? And that's for some of you, when you're, hurting from an unavailable person, it's like, at what point do you have to face that yourself? Okay, at what point do you stop trying to get sympathy from other people over it? At what point do you recognize that you're kind of asking for this as well, because you're begging for it and accepting it, and this person doesn't give you love back. They just throw you a little crumb here and there, right? Okay. I don't have time for it, you guys, and I had to boot people out of my group, and I had a couple people go, why'd you do that? And I'm like, because I can feel the energy. I can feel the guilt trip. I can feel the manipulation. I can feel the projection, and I am not taking it right now. I'm not taking it anymore. Okay? I don't let my kids do it to me. There's no excuse for an adult to do that stuff to people just to make themselves feel better. I just think about, like, okay, we're all supposed to be like family together and treat each other like family and give love like family. That's hard love too. So go to your room and think it out a little bit. Okay, that's kind of how I see it. It's not that I am trying to put vengeance on them. It's just like, okay, you can leave my group for a little bit until you see that you are projecting, because I try to tell people this, and if they don't want to see it, it's like, okay, well, go think this out a little bit. Okay. So for some people that like email me and they're like so obsessive and so worried about what the masculine's doing, does he love me? Does he love me? Okay. Is he giving you love? Is he accepting yours? Is he only taking yours and giving it to his whole environment that's not giving it to him? Okay. Or is he just, using you or taking advantage of your heart space, and there's so many things that's like, you guys, if you didn't get an answer then and you're coming back to get a reading from me now, you're probably not going to get the same answer now if you have to worry about that, right? Okay. And everybody's seeking an answer from a reader, seeking an answer from a leader, and that's where it's like I never did classes, like, this is how you do this. This is how you do that. And I just always felt wrong about doing classes because I felt like it was a dictation. And I told my husband, I'm like, if I do classes, it'll be more like therapy, how to recognize your wounds. Where are they coming from? Not teaching you how to have somebody else fix them for you. Okay, because that's kind of how I see classes sometimes. All right. A lot of the masculines don't, you guys. They don't. And then they tell you that they don't have love for you, or they tell you this or that, and then they say things other ways that makes you think they do. So you think they do. Okay, it's games, it's manipulation, it's complete manipulation, and it's absolute utter bullshit. And I see it a lot. I see men do that shit a lot. Okay, and it's a projection of their inner wounds as well, and they don't want to lose you because you have all that love, yet they don't want to give it back. you know and then they fuck with your head because they say all these things. I know. Okay, I've seen men like that since I was in high school. I know what you guys are going through with that kind of crap. Okay. And then the feminine sometimes plays victim and tries to trick the love out of them. You guys, I had to clear the toxic feminine. Okay, so I know exactly what a toxic feminine is. Okay, I know the energy. I know the toxic masculine energy. There's literally 2 different types of toxic feminines, 2 different types of toxic masculines, and I know all 4 of them. Okay, I figured it out. I can pick the brain. All right, so and I can even tell what wounds each type has. Like each type of toxic feminine or masculine. I know exactly what wounds they have. I have that all figured out. I've picked around enough to know. Okay, I lived it myself. I know. Okay. It's like, all the, like when I was in college, I'm a dropout, but I took a ton of like sociology, psychology, that sort of thing. And I learned about the mind. I learned how it works. And I've always been very enthused with it. Some of it is deceptive material, and it woke me up to shit as well. But I know how to pick apart the brain. Okay. And some people I ask, what's your biggest fear? And I can sometimes figure out, like, tell them that your wound is XYZ. That's why you have that fear. Okay? Like, your children dying is a lot of time a very deep abandonment. And that's why we want to clear these wounds so we don't manifest the reality of these wounds. Okay? Deep abandonment wound is the biggest one. We've spent many lives being abandoned, rejected, unloved, and many lifetimes of coming back and deepening these wounds, so we have physical problems. There is so many physical problems, you guys, that are correlated to the lack of balance with the feminine masculine energies in the chakra system. It's unreal. And I tell people, if you just balance out the feminine masculine energies in your chakra system, you'll start improving. Your health will start improving. And they're like, oh, that's a myth. It's like, no, it's not. Okay, it's really not. Arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. I got diagnosed with that years ago. I don't have symptoms of it anymore. There is no doubt in my mind fibromyalgia is complete trauma and imbalances. No doubt in my mind about that. Okay? Oh yeah, they're just like, oh yeah, one of those weirdos. Like, I kind of lost friends for a while because I thought I was nuts. Because everything that's happening right now, I called it out, and I said it's going to be a bunch of wound surfacing, and they're like, oh, and now they're coming back around because I think they know. Even if they don't say it, they know. It's like, gee, I'm not looking so nuts now, am I? Okay? And this is how, and then I tell people, I want to see the schools shatter. I want to see them fall apart. I want to see the medical fall apart. And they kind of are like, oh, well, my kid's got to go to school. Okay. I think they see it like I'm going to go like bulldoze the school down. No, this is how I do it. This is how I help the collective do it, because we're literally one of the front lines. I know a lot of my collectives one of the front lines, and I know they are. You guys like literally are part of the karmic clearing. Okay. So I plant the seeds with you guys. I have clients that are doctors, I have clients that are psychiatrists, I have clients that are therapists, and they say they get a better session out of me than they do anywhere else. Okay. They learn something out of me. And then they go to work and they use it on their clients, right? So we plant the seed and we have the domino effect. This is how we clear the karma, and this is how we fix and change the freaking shit, right? So, I think people, I say like, I want to shatter the system, I want to rebuild it. And they're like, oh, I don't know how you do that. You put a bomb off or something? No, you plant seeds. Okay, we don't have to go destruct and riot off our wounds. Okay, so Yeah, and I've been getting a lot of messages lately because I had a lot of my collective get pissed at me a long time ago and like, oh my God, bitch, And then they're like messaging me. They're like, I want you to know that I tried to tell myself that I didn't resonate with you anymore, and now I do. And the truth is, I did the whole time. So, and I don't sit and stroke my ego. I don't put myself on a big old throne, but I love hearing this stuff. I like to see people heal. I want to see people strong. And sometimes they try to project back to me, like, you're being offensive. You do. It's like, dude, I'm not trying to hurt you with the truth. Okay. And I notice the older generation struggles the worst when I tell them things because there's, the correlation that they're older and wiser and they get kind of pissy. I already know that. The older generation, a lot of them, well, I have clients that are like 70 as well, but they're not the ones I'm referring to. I'm more or less like, our parents' type of generation, that sort of thing. But yeah. And even some of them, they're coming around too. So, how do you get somebody to heal their wounds? Okay, you pick them up by their feet, literally upside down, and you shake them. Okay, in a sense, that's kind of what you have to do. You have to shake the trigger. You have to shake it out of them. Okay, and that's almost like the 3D way of saying it without. I'm not literally doing that. Okay, but I feel like people see it as you're coming up to them and punching them in the face, like, oh, that was mean. I'm like, dude, the truth is it hurt you, like. I wonder why everybody just hated me all my life. So I'm being less hated now by some people, if that makes sense. But I still have some people that are like offended and project, and it's fine. It's what it is. I can take it. But when they do that, I'm just like, I'm telling you how to think by telling you the truth. If you don't think it's the truth, then don't fucking listen to it. But I think they say that or say something like that because they know deep down it is. They don't want to face it at all. So it's either be like, well, you're mean. That's just the instant reaction because I've been there. Okay, I've been there. I know this. This is why I know this shit because I've been there. Okay, I had to be there and I had to pick myself back up in order to know. Okay, that's why I say experience over schooling. Okay. Oh, I love Texas. I love Texas. You know what? You guys, you're having victory with what you want in a man. You're having more hope about it. And I feel like the shatter and the deception and the heart space and the bullshit you went through and all that pain and all this bullshit. And I feel like you're clearing out the deception, the vengeful thoughts behind it, and just having an understanding that you will have victory somehow, some way, whether it's another person or whatever. You're happy the way things are. You know what, you guys? I posted on Facebook today. Why do you need to just call Archangel Michael up in the spirit realm? Find the one in the 3D too. You want to match that energy. Because a lot of times my husband goes around to these calls, okay? He works under that energy, that concept of Archangel Michael, okay? And I could hear some women, I don't know if they were like in their head asking for him, but I could hear some like collective and I'm like, oh my God, Jack, can you message so-and-so like something really bad's going on? And sure enough, they were needing help. So it's heard. Okay? Prayers are heard. Somebody hears them and somebody doesn't answer them. Okay? And sometimes I've been told, oh, I called out to Archangel Michael. And it's like, well, here, it's being answered. Archangel Michael's the alpha male, okay? Archangel Michael, sometimes by certain religions and things, is considered demonic. You know why? Because he comes with truth. He comes with power. He removes toxicity. He fights the demons front line. That's what Archangel Michael does. Okay, so we both work under that, and it's the hardest ever because you piss everybody off. Because everybody likes their demons. So that's what we're fighting against right now. Okay, so there's people that have told me, well, I heard Archangel Michael is demonic. I heard this and that. Don't call him. And, oh, the alpha male, It's literally the true definition of an alpha male. That's how I see it. And that's what you guys deserve. I feel you guys deserve. You deserve a male that's going to protect you, just like Archangel Michael would. Okay? Not fight your demons for you, but help protect you and be there and be balanced. Okay? Because Archangel Michael has unconditional love as well, but he does tough love too. Okay? He does tough love. So my husband's learned to speak up with the truth more as well, because he's always struggled with that, you know, offending people, and I've had to teach him that. Okay, so I'm like, he's like, well, how do I say this? I'm like, just say it. I said, my collective knows they come because they want to know. So just say it. You know, I've been teaching that. So I feel like you guys, you know, you're going to have some victory here. Okay? And a lot of the masculines that you are dealing with, they have a very strong distorted feminine inside of them, and it's controlled by other distorted feminines. You know, that's what I really feel. So that's why they're emotionally distant, because they don't know how to accept the love from a strong feminine energy. They don't know anything else. Okay. Well, you guys, these Archangel Michaels, a lot of them, their souls that answer you are people that are here on Earth. Okay, and I know that sounds really weird, but it's true. Okay. It's an alpha male. Okay. It's an awakened alpha male. There's so many Archangel Michaels that I've seen that are actual people here on Earth. It's really weird. The Earth Angels. Okay. It's cool what I've been learning this year myself, because you assume it's like just an angel or a deceased person, and it's like, wait a minute, I recognize some of these like people working up here under these, you know, I feel it's more of a consciousness, thanks for the donation, than like individual, if that makes sense. Or not an angel, because there's like these big old wings that flap. Okay, like we fly up there, we walk up there, we teleport. Okay, you know, I don't like fly around with wings and stuff like that, but well, I remember flying though. I remember flying when I had my huge ass awakening in 2015, which was crazy. I already was going through it, but the massive awakening 2015, oh my god, that was so creepy. Ugh. But anyway, the light beings on the water, I'm not real sure. No, I don't have wings on me, like my soul doesn't. I've never seen that. I just fly. I just like soar, and I don't know, or I just teleport. I don't know how to explain it. It's not anything for me like I've been told, or you know, these angels and stuff with these wings. Like that's not like that for me. It's really weird. And you can like change your clothes and manifest instantly, and you have like your own like weapons sometimes. I don't know how to explain it. Honestly, it took me a long time to figure it out. I know I do. I send out mass messages to you guys. I do. I send out mass messages. So does my husband. So when I had my huge ass awakening, I know I discussed before, but I was getting sleep paralysis heavily. And I'd come out of my body it was usually in the morning for some reason. I hated it. I just dreaded it because I knew when I fell back to sleep that it would happen. And people talk about a demon and stuff, and I didn't have that. I just got scared, and it would come out of me. I'd come out of my body, and I'd like literally free fall and fly through space, and I could hear the wind, and it was like so creepy and real. So yeah, there's been a lot of vivid dreams too. I've been hearing about that. Yeah, mine started in 2015, and then my grandma was killed in a car wreck in September. But the entire summer before, and I feel like it was her time to pass away. Okay, but it started the summer before, and there was literally like, you know, spirits coming in the house, and I felt like they're trying to enter my body, and I was scared, and I thought I was like schizophrenic. And then after my grandma died, I was pregnant with Nora, and she's like a really powerful soul as well, and it got worse, and I like got really paranoid, and felt really psycho, okay? It's not an exactly like peaceful, beautiful event. It's really crazy and it feels surreal and it's scary. And you don't even want to tell anybody because it's so scary. Okay. You guys are definitely, you guys are definitely fighting some demons right now. That's what I'm picking up, okay? You guys are definitely, you're, with the judgment here, you're definitely part of judgment. I really feel that. I feel you guys are frontline warriors here, okay? And I'm kind of picking this up as a good thing right now. I feel like you guys are spreading seeds. You're helping with Judgment Day. You're helping with the balance of everything, okay? A lot of my collective is so strong, they are. Like, a majority of you are so strong, and you're going around and you're planting these seeds, okay? And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. You're helping rebuild this system. You're helping that, okay? You're helping people awaken, and you guys are learning what a powerful female and a male really is, and it's not what we were taught. It's not a female that controls everybody. It's not a male that controls everybody, okay? It's not the good guy that is the nice program boy that sits on the couch and does what you want. Okay, I think you guys, you're learning this. You're learning what the true alpha is, and that's what we're bringing back. And the true alpha actually does give love. And he wants to help, and he wants justice, and, that sort of thing. So, you guys are fighting like an abandonment wound, though. You're fighting karma with an abandonment wound right now as well. And you're being tempted to face this again. You're being tempted to go back to your demons. So somebody may be triggering this in you. Don't take it. You can do it. It's just a temptation. Okay, so could be a parent, could be a friend, could be multiple people. They're trying to trigger your emotions. Okay, and a lot of times it's through guilt. So and your guys' healing card is how teachable are you? Are you listening to your guidance, whether it's from somebody else who's trying to help you, or are you listening to yourself? Okay, because that's where a lot of it is your inner guidance, okay? Yeah, a lot of us have toxic families, and sometimes you just have to step back and disconnect and, forget that way. And they sometimes work through their demons and they come back around. Sometimes they don't. Okay, so no, and that's the thing with forgiveness. People are like, don't you let the past go? He says this, nah. It's like, I'll forgive you. Okay, but I will not condone the toxic behavior that was behind it. I will not support that. Okay? And I'm willing to support somebody on their journey in life as well, as long as it's healthy. But if they're being in denial about it, or, engaging in toxicity and stuff like that, no, I won't. Because it totally defeats the purpose. And there's people that, they want to one-up you because they want to support the program. They want to support the demons, okay? It's just the way it is. So they'll look at you and they'll be like, no, that isn't my happy. My happy is being in denial that we have a system here that's literally slaving us, right? So they'll find an excuse. And I notice that all the time. And it's not about using the system that we're in, you guys, because we're all slaves here one way or another right now with the system, okay? And we're slaved with money. We're slaved with everything, and it's stressful and it's horrible, and we're meant to live under stress, so we're constantly wounded and we never enjoy life. That's basically what it is, okay? It's bullshit. Even our kids, okay? I hate it. And I'll say this stuff, people are like, not my kid's school, not my healthcare provider. No, all of it. And it's not that you can't use them. It's being aware. It's seeing and recognizing the toxic parts of it. Because if people refuse to see and want to deny the whole thing, what the fuck are we going to do here? And then so many people say, well, if they try a COVID shot, then I'm going to do this. So you're only going to make a change if they try to give you a COVID shot. Only when you care, then you have a problem too. Okay, because we can start changing now. We can start planting the seeds now. And the first step is quit the denial. Okay? Quit the excuses. I don't know. I don't really go by certain star seeds. Because where the karmic plane is considered more of the Orion, I guess. I don't know. I don't really think too much on it. So, because I've heard you're this one, you're that one, you're this. It's just like, whatever. I'm just me, you know? So, yeah, likely. Yeah. Yeah, my husband looks like an Orion. And those are also horrible, right? Because they work with the karma, that's fine. And we're kind of trained to stay away from battling the demons if you think about it. Elvis, you guys, Orion, he's Orion. Okay, so right, and I think that even though spirituality, there's so much ego behind it. Like, I'm a divine feminine, that's just a karmic. That's why I know. Everybody can find their divine self. So in that sense, anybody can find their divine self, which is their whole self. So anybody can be, in my opinion, a divine feminine or divine masculine. But if they haven't gotten to their whole self, they are not a divine. Okay? That's just, I'm going to stick to that. Because a divine individual is their full divine self. So I just can't stand it when people like, the karmic. I can't stand it. It just really irritates me. It just, you know, I understand you have karmic contracts with somebody, so I get the concept. But people forget the balancing act of karma. There's good and bad. So can a karmic be good? You know? So I feel like labels, and it's not being truthful about labels. There's being truthful and there's using labels to define somebody. You know, there's saying like the toxicity behind, you know, masculine energy, the toxicity behind this, the toxicity of things or whatever, just saying the truth about things. Then going, oh, the karmic. That's ego. That's labeling somebody with vengeance, I feel. Okay? I don't like it. I think labels can be very, very egotistic. We are all karmics with each other. That's the whole thing. We're all karmics with each other. We really are. You make karma every single day of your life, one way or another, whether it's good or bad. Okay, you drive by a car, you get pissed at them, you flip them off, there you go, you develop some karma, okay? So, labels can hold such an egotistic thing, and I know I saw a post today, and I was like, it's not up to you to decide who's a false prophet and who's not. Well, why isn't that up to you? Because you can recognize ego, or you can recognize a wounded, you know, ego behind some of that. So why can't you point out if somebody's acting out of ego or acting from power? You know, you don't have to bully them, but if you don't feel that they're a legit prophet that's going to help you, you don't have to go, oh, well, they seem artificial or toxic to me, but I'll just, no. If somebody's toxic, they're toxic. And there are people going around, you guys, pretending to be really good people that do have a hidden agenda. But I don't tell you who to idol and what to idol, because you will learn that on your own, right? So I'm not going to sit here and call off a bunch of names that I feel like are, you know, acting on an ego. That's not my thing. But I will tell you the behavior that I see and notice and what to watch for. But if you still want to trust that individual, that's on you, not me. Okay? Yes, I do try to induce good karma, but you know, like I said, being a truth speaker, you do get a lot of blows. Okay. Oh, tell me about that. And then people see saying the truth is like, oh, you're gossiping, you're shit talking. I think we've been trained to do that. It's like, why is the truth gossip or bad? Okay, Like, if somebody beats a bunch of women all the time and somebody wants to date them and they're being lured and charmed, why wouldn't you tell that girl or warn them? That's the type of person I am. And then it's like, well, you're just trying to sabotage it. It's like, okay, so that's gossiping and trash talking to warn somebody that it's something that could save their life. That's what we're trained to do, is protect demons. Okay, we're trained to enable, and we're trained to continue this bullshit, right? So that's it. I do warn people when I know a man does this shit to women and I know they haven't changed and they start seeing them. I do warn them and I'm like, look. And I have warned people and I've seen women get very hurt by these people and it's like, God, I tried to tell them. Okay, that's the person I am. I'm not gonna like pull somebody away from a good person or anything, or somebody that's got some wounds and issues or anything like that. But if somebody's gonna really hurt them, I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, like be careful. Okay. There's a lot of domestic abuse out there, you guys, and I feel like that started a lot of it from the feminist movement a long time ago. Okay, because the feminine masculine roles got completely fucked up. Okay, because all of a sudden, being an at-home mother was considered abuse. You're being abused. You're at home taking care of your kids. You're being abused. You're not having your rights. You're not having this and that. And then it was like, oh, a man that works all the time, or providing or protecting their family, like men usually have the natural desire to do anyways. Okay, it's all of a sudden like, oh, they're toxic. It's all toxic. So all of a sudden the female man role is toxic. Okay, so then a bunch of women thought they were being abused. Okay, maybe they were. I mean, some of them probably were. That could be the case. Okay, but I know a lot of people that died at a very old age, okay, and lived in that more healthy environment, and they were not beat by their husbands, and there was actually a lot of respect given and a lot of balance back then. Okay, so these roles got taken away, family got shattered, the true definition of family got shattered and replaced with toxicity. Okay, and that's where there's this wounded masculine feminine that keeps being fed and excused. Oh, well, so and so, they might have a wounded feminine energy or masculine energy, but they had a bad childhood. They had this or that. They had all these things or whatever, okay? I get that. We all get that. We all have that, right? But it's not an excuse to continue to be toxic. So when you feel sorry for them and excuse their behavior, you're in their behavior, which is affecting you as well. Okay? Because it's uneven balance exchange. Okay? That's why I've really toned down my bleeding heart and enabling this stuff. Okay? Because I was like, oh, they deserve love. They deserve this and that. This it's a certain individual that's being a complete dick, right? So that's where you get back, what, nothing but pain? But you make an excuse for them. Well, their mom was mean to them. You know what I'm saying? We got to stop that shit. We got to stop feeding the victim consciousness. Okay? Because to excuse it is saying it's okay. Well, they got abused or they had some trauma, and that's enough. Okay? That's enough. It's not that I don't care, because I do. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. This is the stuff I'm trying to expose so we can get rid of this shit. But sometimes it's like, there's enough. There's enough. How many of you have a mother today or a father that's still a fucking victim? Okay? How many of you do? Because I bet a lot of you do. Alright? And how many of you excuse it because that's your parent? Okay, and when my kids pull that shit, I tell them to go to their room. I don't want to hear it. Okay? So, I'm done enabling it. I'm just done. Okay? So, and when people come back to me and vent about the same wound over and over and over again, it's like, okay, what are you going to change here? Why is this continuing? Okay? And, you know what? When I was in my wounds, you guys, and I fell on my ass, nobody fucking picked me up. So I dealt with them, and I'm glad I did. It was divine protection. And all of that time I felt rejected and abandoned, I did it myself. Okay? So that's how I see it. Okay? How many of you got a mother that's poor me and you're supposed to go over and cater to their ass? Okay? I'm just going to throw that out there. Because that is like a huge one. The martyr, okay? The martyr. Alright. Anyway, see what's going on with the masculine. That's what we're trying to unlearn. And to keep feeding the wound, to keep feeding the martyr, to keep feeding the person that caused the wounds in you. It's just feeding the wounds to accelerate in you. If you don't have the boundaries with those individuals, it's just refeeding the wounds and the triggers, right? It's enabling. And you can't have that and allow that fucking shit in order to heal yourself. So when these masculines like sit and enable that and cover that shit and pretend it's okay, they're staying wounded too, okay? They're staying wounded too. And then some of you have a bleeding heart. And you give them this sympathy and you give them this love and this understanding, okay? And they never fall on their ass. That's why. So I hope that makes more sense to you, okay? And people are like, oh, the narcissist. But we're trying to feed that. And the narcissist, that sometimes you guys, a narcissist is an alpha that wanted to be an alpha and was considered abusive as well. And that was generations of it, okay? So, it was made that a man that wanted to provide and protect was in the wrong. Okay? A long time ago. I don't find anything wrong with it. And I was a stay-at-home mom for years and I got so much shit for it. Okay, I don't regret it. Granted, I had a lot of healing to do. My husband had a lot of healing to do. We still had a lot of old values. Okay, so yeah, don't coddle anymore. Grown women. And I just think of my children and it's like, okay, when they act out and manipulate me, I don't feed that shit. It's but grown adults want me to do it. Okay, no. It's not how it works. Yeah, we have masculine and feminine in us. So the masculine energy I'm doing right now, you guys, some of you guys are going to be like, oh, I resonate with that. Because you're probably working on that energy. And what I'm seeing for them right now, you guys, is that they do have an energetic drain in their environment. They do have an imbalance in their environment with energy. They're giving this to you as well. Okay. And I know this came up again yesterday, I think. So there is an imbalance here. They have somebody draining them. Okay. And I feel like it's draining on their feminine in general. Most masculines have this, even if they're not in contact with their mother anymore. Their mother still drains because they didn't forgive them. Okay. And part about forgiveness that's the hardest is knowing that you forgive somebody that may not accept it. Or you accept forgiveness from somebody who will never give it to you, who will never say sorry or even admit to it. Okay, who will forever be a victim to your horrific self. Okay, to your whole horrific self. Okay, and that's where the toxic parents are complete victims to you being your whole self. And where did they go wrong with raising you? Oh my God, you're yourself. You're a horrible kid. Okay, don't buy that shit. So if you have children yourself, and you're in your whole grounded self, getting to that point, you're going to have people say shit. Okay? So that's why a lot of these masculines are going to come in and trigger some of you because they're dealing with toxicity in their environment, you guys. And they don't want to admit to it. And if they're not getting the energy out of you that they want, they know how to. Okay, they know exactly what to say or play the poor me bullshit to get a reaction and to play with the heart space here. That's what I'm seeing because they know that playing with your emotions and your guilt trips and that sort of thing, they know that gets that reaction. Okay, and this is coming to an end. This is toxic. This is feeding their toxicity, and this is where we need to start starving out the demons in general. So I'm kind of picking up that they still have a very toxic vision of love here, view of love. You know, they see it with items. Okay, let's say they have a partner and it's a toxic relationship, and they want to fix it, and they don't know how because they don't act out of the heart space with this individual, for example. So they're like, oh well, let's buy a new house, let's buy a car, let's go on a trip so we can forget our problems for a weekend. Okay, that's the kind of stuff a lot of masculines do. Or, well, let's paint the living room. That's going to change the atmosphere in here, but let's not face the wound. Let's not face the reality. Let's not act out of the heart space. Let's paint the walls just to make it look different so it feels different in here, and that'll fix our problems. That's what a lot of them do. It's the denial. It's the lack of coming from the heart, okay? So they're getting their heart broke with this toxicity. That's kind of what I'm feeling. You know, it's like they got people in their environment, which is a lot of them toxic feminines that know how to fuck with their heart too. Okay, so this is coming to a completion. And it's not like literally, it's not just a narcissist pattern, you guys. Sometimes these masculines are and they want to fix, they want to fix, they want to fix. They do it too, okay? And they serve a female, their mother, a sister, whatever. They serve. They try to see the good in this person. They want to fix them, and they don't know how. They just don't know how. And what they're not realizing is they're not fixing the wound to begin with. So they think if they change the environment, it'll fix it. If they do this, they'll fix it. You know, they use stuff to try to fix it. Okay, you can live in a shithole or you can live in a beautiful home. But if you don't fix the demon goes with you. Okay? They try to buy forgiveness. And it's not even just that, because some of them, you guys, they are being punished by other people as well. And there's games on both sides. And I know there's men out there that try to fix women. Okay? They try to fix them. And they try to please them, because there are some women out there that are so wounded. Okay? And they play victim martyr, and they emotionally manipulate to get the reaction, and the man serves them and pleases it, and they bust their fucking ass to show this person that they love them, that they care, that they can fix them, and then they go energy steal off other people to do it. So then they engage in toxic behavior to compensate, right? It can go either way. It can go either way, okay? Women can be very narcissistic, you guys. They can be very hostile. The covert narcissist is the most common in female. That is so common in female. And they'll look like the sweetest little dolly when they're out in public. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. The covert narcissistic female is the most... I should probably shut up. They know how to use weapons, okay? And a lot of times, you guys, men that get up with this thing, they're silenced. They're alpha males that are silenced. You know, they're supposed to be the good boy, the covert narcissistic female. They want the man to be the good boy that listens and is programmed and sits on the couch and watches football and drinks beer and plays Xbox. The nice guy, okay? The nice guy, the beta boy, okay? That's what they want. So they're programmed and do what they want, but then they're a victim anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay? And the beta boy has very deep wounds that they never acknowledge, but they think they're being an alpha male. That's the problem. Okay? And then we have this ongoing thing. So some of you had fathers that were silenced. Okay? And what happens is that they sit and they be the program boy, and they're never in their divine self either. So they get poked by the covert narcissist female, and they don't even know they're being manipulated. They don't even know. Okay? Because the covert narcissist is very, very venomous. Okay? Very venomous. And what happens is the male that's being silenced does everything to excuse them, find excuses for them, you know, and figure that they just be a good boy, they're picking their battles, okay? And then all of this energy, all of a sudden, this pent-up anger, and they explode. And then the covert narcissist female, plays victim and cries and bawls and does this cry, and you guys, I just know, okay? And then the beta male gets punished. They get punished, okay? And they have to be a good boy, and they have to like kiss ass, and then they go buy items, and then they find all these things they can do with this feminine to fix it. Does that make sense? So it's a wounded masculine and a wounded feminine in the same house, and it's so toxic. Okay, one way or another. Sometimes both sides are narcissists. But usually if they're narcissists, both narcissists to the kids, there's usually one that's more narcissist between the pair. Okay? Yes, I mean, we're all breaking this program, so we all are recognizing it, and admitting it is the first step. So when I hear someone trying to make an excuse for that, I'm like, no, but no, but no, but they're a victim, so you're gonna feed their ass. That's why we're where we are. Okay. If you don't wear a mask, you're just a villain, you're a narc, you're this and that. If you don't do this, you're that. If you're selfish, if you don't, it's all just a lure, you guys, over and over again. Yeah. And even the empath, you guys, like, the empath wants something too. You know what I'm saying? The empath wants that love and wants something back, and they don't get it, so they sit wounded and empty, right? So everybody's trying to get something. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if we're being doormats, even doing this. And I'm the type of person that I want to make people happy, and I don't do it out of a place of, wanting to always receive. But if I don't get shit back, after a while, it starts to, like, you want to get the balance, okay? And if you keep give to somebody and you don't get shit back from that individual or any care, or they don't show actions of actually caring, that you start to get bitter. Okay? I like to go shopping and buy stuff for my kids and my husband because I like to make them happy. Okay? So I bring stuff home, but I get the reaction out of them that they're so excited and they accept and and they love you back, right? They show you love back. So there's a reward back. There's that balance with it. Whereas I know some women are going and buying stuff and giving money and doing things for this masculine that acts like they care, but then they don't treat him very good at all. They treat him like shit. So then they turn around and they use that money or those items to go please other people. Okay? And then it's just the toxic runs. And I feel a lot of you recognize this and you're like, I'm done. And you're not doing it anymore, and you feel like an idiot. Forgive yourself for it, okay? Because you didn't know anything else. At the time, you didn't know anything else. You didn't know how to give love any other way, okay? So these masculines, you guys, they're trying to find ways to fix their toxic cycles right now is what I'm picking up, okay? And it's coming from a place of ego and material. That's what I'm hearing. It's the blanket over the problem, okay? There's an ending approaching and they're triggered and they're sad, okay? Because I feel like that they're really depressed right now, and I feel like that there's individuals in their environment that the balance isn't there and it's showing, okay? And I'm really feeling like it's family. But they feel a sense of loyalty to this. And what they don't realize, it isn't that they have to end, a relationship with their family. It's about the boundaries and standing in their power and saying no and understanding that stuff doesn't fix. Throwing a blanket over it or putting a pacifier in somebody's mouth doesn't fix. That's what I feel like these masculines are doing right now. Okay? And sometimes you can try so hard to make somebody happy it becomes toxic, So I like to make people happy because I like to see them excited. I like to see them satisfied, but I know that they show me back the appreciation for it and they give the love and, they're so like, and they deserve it, I don't like to give to people that shit in the hand that feeds them. I really, really, that is something I really, really don't like. And they do it by playing with emotions. okay? Because my kids, if they're like, I want this, I'm like, no, you're not getting that. Or what'd you do to earn that? Or you work for something, okay? But I like to surprise them. Okay, I'll be the one that goes shopping and I'll come home with stuff for my family and I'll get shit for myself. It's just the joy of seeing them so happy. Okay, so they have anxiety around their family dynamic. They're trying to hold on to the old system, you guys, and it's automatically shambling. It's automatically dismantling. Okay, and I feel like these masculines here, like I said, they don't want to let go of it because the demon's what's fed them for how long. Okay, and this is the whole system, you know, the whole slavery process, the upper elites that are literally trying to enslave us so they can make money on our ass, put us through schooling and all these hidden programmings that we're not seeing or not wanting to see, but we're seeing now. Okay, so they're struggling with this because this programming goes through every single thing and every single piece of your life, you know, everything. It's at home, it's at work, it's everywhere. Okay, how many of you have had somebody use the whole mask thing simply to have control over you? Okay, so that's the one good thing about the pandemic. It's showing the truth on the outside. It's showing the truth on the outside. Okay, and you're supposed to adjust to everybody else's comfort right now. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to wear a mask because you're an asshole and you're not wanting to save lives unless you are. But how come you can not wear a mask? Because you have health issues and just respect the boundaries of those that do. You know, why can't that be a thing? It's no different than somebody of a religion that's wearing a full headdress, or somebody, you know, of a certain culture or that dresses a certain way, and we always respect that. But all of a sudden, nobody's respected with their values at all. It's either you be programmed and you follow because it makes me feel better to see you like that. You know, that's what it is right now. So it's become a dictation, and it's just so we can see. I don't even wear them in stores anymore because I started getting bloody noses and I was sick of it. Okay? Like, and I'm talking about profuse bloody noses that were like just spraying. And I was like, okay, I'm done. Okay, this is not good for me. I'm done. And my husband lost his voice from wearing one while we were shopping. I'm not even kidding. He didn't have a voice for like 2 days. And it was from that. He wasn't sick. And people are going, no, there's no excuse. There's absolutely no excuse. You need to go to the doctor then. Oh, so I need to go serve Big Pharma so I can wear a mask for you? I even got told to get on pills. Because we're a one size fits all, right? Everybody's the same, right? No, that's not how it works. Yeah, I take iron pills, but with my iron already unstable, I don't really need to sit and wear a mask and get these ugly, bloody noses to satisfy other people. I'll respect boundaries. I'll wash my hands. I'll do my 6 feet, whatever. But at what point do you start thinking for yourself too? You know? Plus, it's just, you know, it's stepping up for humanity and our rights. And people want me to answer for them. Why can't you wear one? What's your excuse? Okay, so are you going to go up to somebody of another culture who dresses different and ask them what their excuse is for dressing differently too? Because that's rude. That's disrespectful. So, guys, they have anxiety around their demons, okay? And I kind of feel like that with this here, they're being pushed to excel and being pushed to move, and they're choosing not to. Okay, that's kind of what I'm picking up, is that they're choosing not to. And we'll see how they are with the family. Pretty soon they'll be like, what color's your underwear? Are you wearing red underwear? Because you're not allowed to wear blue. Blue offends me. So you need to wear red undies. I'm allergic to blue. So can you wear red? They're not actually, you guys, it's against your constitutional right to have to answer why you're not wearing a mask. They're not supposed to ask you. If they own a small business and they don't want you to shop there over it, that's their right, you know? But legally, they can't sit and drill you and question you about it. And that's where I'm sick of it. Okay? I don't have to tell them my health issues. I don't have to tell them my reason. I don't owe anyone an explanation for being who I am. And I'm not going to the fucking doctor to get on pills so I don't have anxiety with a mask. Okay? Like, no. There was a guy in Applebee's, I think it was, and I had the stupid mask like under my nose because I'm sick of the bleeds, and he goes, mask over nose, and I just went, and he didn't say anymore, so that answers the question. Right? Pretty soon I'll be like, oh, do you have undies on? Is it a thong or brief? Is it a G-string? What color is that? You can't wear silk. It has to be full cotton to go into Walmart and shop. It's so stupid. And you guys, do you notice that like these big corporations and the government all work together too? They're the same person. I tell that to people and they're like, how? Okay, you work at Walmart. Okay, who owns Walmart? Sam Wall? Was that his name, right? Okay, so keep that name in mind, okay? What do you call the government? Uncle Sam, right? Okay, so you go work at Walmart and you make a minimum wage and then you need to go get on welfare to compensate, right? Well, don't you think they work together, Uncle Sam and Sam Walton or whatever the fuck his name was? It's all a tactic. It's all a game. So then they can blame Walmart, but Walmart blames the government. And, you know, it's just they work together. I worked at Walmart too. It's horrible. Walmart, I'd swear, puts crap out in their vents because I feel like shit in there all the time. And then it's like my nose, like it's dry, and I don't know. Underwear in the face. My husband said that wearing a mask all day and breathing in and out, you put dirty underwear on your face, he said. And of course, when he said that, because we like to joke around and just have fun over here, and somebody goes, that's really offensive. It's not. It's like, oh my God, can't you take a fucking joke? It's just so stupid. I am so tired of the mask. And I have followers once in a while, they're like, why don't you wear one? And I just say, it's against my morals. That's it. You know, if you want to wear one, that's cool. I don't care. I don't care. I just make jokes about everything because I just try to make it. I just try to make people laugh, you know? And maybe my jokes are mean. I don't know. But I think we should just try to laugh during a hard time. Sometimes that's me. I like to make people laugh. I just naturally do that. So some people are like, you're so offensive. It's like, okay, whatever. Sorry. I just like to have fun. So why can't we have fun? We have to be serious. We have to follow dictation. Did you guys see that they have like some restaurants like have tents outside that you have to sit and eat in? Okay. And then they have a porta-john and stuff because Rona only spreads in the buildings. Wake up, people. God. I know, and I'm just done walking on eggshells being who I am for other people. If they don't like me, they don't like me. It's fine. I don't care. I mean, it's fine. I'm not bullying. And people are like, I have to wear a mask and I have a health issue. That's really mean. Okay, well, did I direct that comment at you? Why are we nitpicking everything like it's a direct remark to you? Why do we find offense in every fucking thing? Okay? If I said your name and made a remark and was being mean, I get it. Okay? everybody finds something about them in every single thing, and it's so stupid. I could be offended all day long if I wanted to be, but I don't care. It's just that's how I see. If you think my energy is like bullying you, then don't. Shit, my haters, they're my biggest fans sometimes. So, oh yeah, I dealt with a lot of that shit. Offense. Okay, I'm against circumcision for multiple reasons. I have been for years, and I had a bunch of people that took major offense and commented, and like I was discriminating on their child that I didn't even know got the procedure done. Okay, okay. It's when an opinion becomes a form of bullying or emotional manipulation, and I didn't do that. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I have a father that jokes about everything too. He's a jokester. I get it. And he doesn't do it to be mean. He does it because he likes to make people laugh. That's just the way he is. So that's what I'm supposed to be. One size fits all. And it's like my husband said the other day, we're not supposed to have fun anymore. We're not supposed to laugh anymore. We're not supposed to enjoy life. We're supposed to be one size fits all and go get drunk in the COVID tent outside. Like, so, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, my dad's a jokester. He's a jokester. I don't see anything wrong with it. The tent, like, okay, is it just me or is it just the setup to walk us to the COVID, like, or not the COVID camp, but the FEMA camp type of setup? Oh, let's start them outside the restaurants and the schools so we can slowly move them to other places, you guys. Like, I don't know. It's a lure to me. And I have been saying for so long, we're going to be slowly walked to this sort of place. Yeah, I do talk to him, yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of, you guys, these masculine, oh yeah. This is just complete validation. They're finding creative ways, you guys, to work with the materialistic world or, the denial about the deception and trying to change the perception of how they see it so they can hold on to it. That's what I'm picking up because they're scared. And I asked how they feel about the feminine, and that's what I got. So maybe some of you are pointing shit out and they're like, oh no, this is the kid. It's something like that. You guys, some of them are dealing with somebody they have karma with right now, okay? And with this in reverse, I'm going to see it as that. And I do feel that they're, instead of actually facing this wound with this person and clearing it, which you can clear karma with somebody if you want to, they have too much fear, so they try to just change it. And like I said, they're trying to just change the environment, have fun, travel, move. I don't know, maybe they're trying to move. It's like they're just trying to change the physical world. Okay? They're trying to morph around the demon instead of facing the demon. That's what I pick up strongly with these messages. It's just completely delusional. That's not how you fix shit. You don't go trade in your car and get a newer one and your problems go away, right? So it's just like when you have a partner, when you have a partner you have karma with and you don't clear it and you just throw them in the dumpster, it comes back through others. It comes back through the situations and that sort of thing. And I feel like a lot of it is their self-worth. Okay? And you know, for a lot of these masculines, you were like putting them on a pedestal. You were giving them admiration. You were seeing the good. You saw their soul. You saw these good things, right? Because you kind of had these blinders on to a lot of it as well. And you covered their demons. So you enabled them to exactly what they're doing with their demons in their environment. Okay. So, like I said, you're feeding their demons essentially in a sense. Okay. And because they weren't accepting it. Or they were just taking it to stroke their ego so they could have this big huffy puffy ego thing, you know what I'm saying? So these masculines are chasing a major rejection wound, you guys, through the acceptance of other people. Okay. And I pick that up very strongly through the community, through friends, through family. And some of these people may be starting to reject them or ignore them or treating them like shit. Okay, because the demons are harder to feed right now. It takes more work to feed them. It takes more energy to feed them. It takes more sacrifice. And it's because they're at loss for their identity because they don't even appreciate themselves. They don't. And it's just sad because I know a lot of you try to give a, you know, if you're not in contact with this person or even if you are in a relationship trying to work on it, whatever, you tried to give them that appreciation. You really did. And they won't accept the genuine side of love, you know. So, and that's, you know, when it comes to their demons, you guys, you almost just have to leave it, and worrying about it and dwelling on it and um, pointing it out, or, you know, even like calling it names or a label. It's one thing if you're kind of like directing them towards a toxic cycle, but I wouldn't sit there and be like, oh my God, your friend's a fucking asshole. You know, I wouldn't do that because you're feeding it, you know, the energy. But just maybe if you're planting seeds, like some of you are, to try to get them to help them heal, I do feel they do listen to you, okay? And I do feel they need to recognize the cycles, because a lot of times if they have toxicity with one person, it's with several. And a lot of times for some of you, when you're doing this, coming from the ego, and there's jealousy behind it, and jealousy does feed demons, okay? It really does. So jealousy is very toxic, okay? And to point out a cycle they're repeating, or to point out, like, why are you buying new cars to fill your abandonment wound? Like, that's a little bit different. Maybe, well, so and so is ruining your life. Like, no, they're allowing it. They have their wounds they're not wanting to face, and these wounds are going to get starved out as long as you, like, you stop. Otherwise, if you don't stop, you're gonna suffer, okay? And you already are and have been suffering for how long with some of this? Because I know there's a lot of jealousy around the people the masculine is serving. Okay, there's jealousy because they're not showing you that. And I get it. It's a horrible feeling, but you're literally just feeding the demon by doing that, okay? So you don't have to punish yourself. I just cut it off. Don't feed it. Don't think about it like in a toxic way. You know, wish them well. Don't wish ill on them, you guys, because that will manifest more bullshit for yourself. And that's why the whole karmic thing, it gets to be so toxic. It gets to be so rotten. It's an excuse to the other person. It's an excuse to put somebody down. It's an excuse to have hatred and jealousy. That's where the dark side of spirituality and the labels of spirituality and soul connections and that sort of thing are starting to surface and show, because it's like, wait a minute, so you're divine feminine but nobody else is a divine feminine. Look up what divine means. It's in tune with thyself. Okay, so anybody's a divine feminine or a divine masculine. That's what I'm always stating. Did that person earn the divine label? Because to me, that's earning your own crown and your whole self. Your dad could be one. Your sister. You know, I'm starting to learn that divine isn't just a label to put oneself on a pedestal above the rest of the world. It's earned. It takes work. It doesn't come from the ego. It doesn't make us better than the rest of the world either, okay? But it's okay to be confident. And the world doesn't want us to be confident, because when they see you out with confidence, they hate you for it, because you're supposed to be with them and their demons, okay? So being in one whole divine self, it's a form of just empowerment of self, of confidence in self. That's why divine masculine, divine feminine? Does it have to be just one person? Why is that? And this marriage in the spirit world, somebody said like, oh, I'd take marriage in the spirit world over anything 3D in day. And I'm like, well, I kind of want both. I want partnership in both. You know, I don't want to sit in the 3D and la la land and some illusion and just waste life like with this, this spirit marriage or whatever. Okay? Because an energetic connection should have boundaries too, and I can disconnect from it when I want. Okay? And there's privacy. And so that's why a lot of my readings, you guys, I've been respecting the privacy of some of these masculines because I've been getting karma for not if I don't. And the karma is more like I just take on some of their toxic energy and feel like shit. All right. So I've been having to have more boundaries even with my readings. Okay. Because if they get mad and they don't want me to tap their energy, I'm not going to. All right. What the 5D is, you guys, is a consciousness. A 5D is a consciousness, okay? 5D is literally how you see, how you see the earth, the beauty in the earth. You can look outside and see the absolute beautiful in the earth. That's 5D, right? Or you can go outside and you can see misery. You can see demons. You can see the bad and everything. That's 3D concept more. So what we're trying to do is to balance both, because not everything's going to be just la la land every single day and perfect every single day, yet not everything has to be miserable either. Okay? So when people are like, well, when is the 5D going to come? Well, it's because it's literally a consciousness. It's literally a perception. It's a way of living. It's freedom from the control of the 3D. Okay? It's not something that just magically comes. It's something you create. It's your reality. It's your freedom. It's your oneness. It's really, it's literally your divine self. That's 5D, right? Okay. So if you live life miserable every day, you're not there yet because it's heaven on earth. We need to bring heaven on earth. Okay. Look up 5D a little more. Look up heaven on earth, you guys, because it literally is the 4D, like there's different dimensions, you guys, but literally 5D is like heaven on earth, and we're trying to balance things out is what we're doing. So yes, the vibration is changing, and the reason why the vibration is changing is because your guys' energy is changing, and you're ascending as a human. And as you ascend, it changes the vibration of the earth, right? So it's actually like changing everything and balancing it out. So it's not like you go to another planet to see 5D. Like I learned that as well. I learned that concept. Okay, so I feel like there's like this misconception behind some of that as well. It's ascending, it's humans ascending, it's raising the consciousness. Okay, so there's different levels of it, there's different acceptance of it, there's different perceptions of it. Yes, the 3D. The 3D is ran by the elites, it's ran by dark, really bad, But you guys, there's been people living in a 5D reality of this world for a very long time. It's not a new thing. It's not a new thing. Yes, when I was really little, till the toxic cycles started to prevail. Yeah. Remember being a child and fantasizing about a beautiful adult life and you were told that's not reality? Some of it's not 100% reality, but that's kind of the 5D in a sense, because you were trying to create it. So it's like they don't want us to be that. They don't want us to ascend. So everyone's like freaking out to try to stop it. Yet the dark side is also trying to help us. Okay? That's where I see the good side of the pandemic as well. It's a visualization of what was always there for us to see. So I think there's a lot of on that. The 5D is going to just arrive, and that's tricking us into not seeing it now, not wanting to see it now. So I've seen that. When is the 5D going to arrive? And I'm like, well, it can be here now for you. Okay. um, is science-based. It's called quantum physics. It's the polarity. That's why we're trying to balance out the 3D and the 5D so we have even polarity. Okay, because if you sit in the 5D every single day, you're never going to see the darkness either, and that's where you get take advantage of as well. Because there is like the illusion of it and sitting in that heaven on earth mentality, but you're not healing everything, and then you kind of aren't grounded to Mother Earth. So we're trying to ground, heaven to earth, so to speak, and ground again. So, um, yeah, we all have a different path. It's just when people don't want to see the control, I get annoyed. I do. It's not using it. It's the oh, not my situation, not my kid's school. It's like not my Walmart when they're all the same. It's the same thing. My Walmart doesn't have stuff from China. It's just it just takes me away. It's just excusing it all. It's like saying one McDonald's has better meat than the other. It's like I can't even handle it sometimes. I can't handle it. Yeah, my red door is prettier than yours. You know, I could have a happy life in a cardboard box and see the beauty. And I could choose to have a miserable life in a bunch of debt in a big ass house with two brand new cars outside and still be unhappy. You know? It's an illusion. It's an illusion of happiness. And that's where I'm feeling a lot of these masculines are, is they're behind the illusion of happiness and material. Okay? So, and this comes from their inner child. I swear to God, next time I'm gonna use that pickup line to somebody when they're like, well, my kid's school da da da, and be like, oh, well, is your Walmart better? Are your items from America at your Walmart? It's the same goddamn system. Okay, it's the same program. However, some schools have more teachers awake than other ones. Okay, and some people are more aware than other ones. Okay, it's humans that are gonna make the change. It's us. It's just some people, I swear, I'm just like watching paint dry, or I'm talking to a wall, or I'm talking into a garbage can, and my echo just comes back at me because they're not wanting to hear it, and they're deaf, and they have wax buildup. I don't know. It just gets really frustrating because I'm not being cruel and I'm not being offensive, but they take it as offense because they're utilizing these things, They want to excuse it because they don't want to admit that maybe their life needs a change. And it's like every excuse not to be the change. It's every excuse not to be the change. It's just... Well, there can be hot guys at Walmart. Yeah, I mean... it's not impossible to live off grid. I mean, I think it's a balance of utilizing things. Like, if I continue this work, obviously I need internet, right? But either way, I am breaking away from this control. I don't care. I've been preparing for this for so long, I didn't even know it. I've been divinely guided and preparing. I had no idea till now. Like every decision, every bad experience, injustice in the court system, injustice in the medical, everything prepared me for this. I've been seeing for years that schools were bullshit. Okay? Like, school was too easy for me, for one, most of the most. It was boring. And I don't do homework. Why do I have to sit at school for 8 hours and take homework? And why do I have to study for another 3 hours? I refused to do that. That was so stupid. So I never studied. I don't know. I just did not like it. And then you can completely disconnect. I know people that have lived off the grid. To say it can't happen is going to make it not happen. It can happen. It can. I do know people that literally no phones, no nothing. Okay. So And where I live, you guys, the Amish basically, they do. Okay. They have their own government, they have their own church, they don't pay taxes, they grow their own food. Okay, it's possible. It's possible. So the Amish community has been making it work for a long time. And once in a while, they utilize our systems, once in a while, but for the most part, they are self sufficient. This pandemic has not affected the Amish one bit. They don't care. They don't care. So, you don't have to go live in a mountain by yourself to be off the grid. Yeah, where I live, they have their own like houses and or they're like farms or whatever, and their houses are like all the same color and they don't have electricity. They're a lot more strict here than Pennsylvania, I know that. And they have their own schools. In their church, they utilize their homes as their church. So they have tax-free homes. And they don't pay taxes. If they do work outside the house, which some of them do sometimes if they want to, they don't pay taxes. They don't have to. And it's perfectly legal. So we actually plan on doing that. We plan on getting rid of the smartphones and just going to computers eventually. So in my collective, not all the time. Sometimes it comes in, they're seeing certain things, but it seems like the masculines in the collective I'm dealing with, they'll see, but then they'll try to excuse and they try to go back to their demons, and it's like an in and out energy for the most part. So I do know feminines that are meeting awakened masculines though in my collective and getting with them, so my collective may shift. Okay. Some of them are awakening, you guys, and I feel like that there's still pain to come. I feel like there's still pain to come, but there's no promise that you're going to be with this specific individual that you're in here about. Okay, so, but this is the healing in the masculine in you too. This isn't just a person, this is the energy that I read for a lot of you. So, nobody's trying to keep you apart from somebody. That's a choice to have blocks, okay? So I don't really like feed that either. It's a lot of ego behind that, okay? I don't believe that. That's blocks they're chosen to participate in, okay? People try to block me all the time. I don't let it. So these masculines well know and feel their toxicity in their environment. There's nobody to blame and nobody's trying to keep you apart unless you allow them. Unconditional love, you guys, it always finds a way. Okay, it always finds a way. There's a lot of new divine counterparts coming in. And some people are like, oh, it's a soulmate. It's not my divine counterpart. I'm like, but wait, this person's awakened. They're in their divine self, right? So that's a divine counterpart, wouldn't it be? That's how I see it. So they're coming in. However, those are the connections that get attacked the worst, are the people that are actually with somebody divine and understanding. Those get attacked. Okay? To not awaken and to not get together as blacks. But I have told some of my collective, if you're seeing somebody who's awakened, just be careful, because those are the ones where the outside sources, and some of the attacks, you guys, they receive are from people who are jealous. We attack each other at the end of the day. We try to block each other at the end of the day as a whole. Okay? And I know it's easy to blame somebody else all the time because we want to blame. It's easy to blame. That we've been taught to blame. But what about you? So your person is being blocked by their environment, but you're allowing that block to block your happiness. Does that make sense? So The blame game doesn't fly with me. The dark's blocked, because you're allowing it. You're allowing it. Okay? And unfortunately, everybody has their free will to play with demons or to go to their divine self. Okay? And I really feel bad for people that they don't want to find their divine self because they have no idea what they're missing out on. They're missing out on so many different things, you know? Ask Archangel Michael. You might see my husband come do it for you when you're sleeping. Trust me, it's happened. Archangel Michael, like I said, I've had people tell me, Archangel Michael, it was your husband. He showed up when I called for him. Like, yeah, that's what he does. I think it's funny. That's it. You know what? These masculines, you guys, the shit they're scared of is all 3D fucking shit. Oh my god, my best friend might not like me anymore. That's just stupid. Okay, they're scared of losing stuff that are not going to matter when it comes to the divine self to begin with. And if somebody truly has unconditional love for you, they will support your divine self. Okay, and if they don't, then they don't have love for you. That's how I see it. That's why these masculines, if they don't want to support your divine path and they want to sit there in their shit, then so be it. The only person to blame for not finding your divine self is yourself. So blaming is, once again, supporting victim consciousness. And then I've been accused of keeping twin flames apart. You're the block. How am I blocking? By trying to get people in their divine self. Isn't that the point? You know? So it's just another tactic to try to push me out of my work as well. Okay? You and your husband are removing the beloved red cords to twin flames. It's toxic. So freeing your soul to your own divine self is toxic. You know what I'm saying? It's just lures to get off path. It's blame. And if people don't want to believe in what we do, they don't have to watch. I don't care. I'm not offended at all. It doesn't bother me. So, well, I do transmute a lot of your guys' energy. I do put off energy. I do it on purpose. And that's why when I do readings, I cleanse some of your energy automatically, and sometimes it's like, whoa, like some of your guys' pain can be really intense sometimes, especially the heartache. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm in a heart attack. So, yeah, and he's allowing those people in his ear, okay, because they know. After so long, they have to see that these people are dictating their life. You know, um, and like I said, if you do disconnect cords, it will help not feed their shit so much, and it will help them awaken too. So that's how I see it. Men are, some of the men are the worst with wanting to see sometimes. Some of the women are the worst with the victim. And being there myself, I know. So I think men struggle to get to the divine self the most. I do. It's just hard to acknowledge that what you knew all your life was a lie, or a majority of it anyways, you know? So, and especially for a man that like wants to be all of these things, wants to be a protector and a provider, and they thought they were, and it's coming to realization that they were in this wounded energy the whole time. That's a really tough pill to swallow for a man, I think. So it sucks. It sucks. When we all see this, it sucks. Do you guys remember when you realized there was this toxicity in your family and it just shattered you and it was so hurtful? And then to watch them intentionally try to piss you off or blame you for their problems and trigger you and get you to play victim, and it hurts. It truly, truly hurts to see that. And what did it for me was having children. I woke up in 2015 the most, okay? And that's when I had my first child. That's when my grandmother passed away. Okay, and I had another child in 2016. Those were the 2 years of the hardest realizations in my entire life. Okay, so it hurt. It just hurt, but I'm so blessed for that pain, and I thank that pain. Okay, because it helped me become a better mother. So, yeah. I know some of you are giving this person wisdom and it's denial king of America. I know some of you say shit. I know you do, and that's fine, you know, as long as you don't have an expectation out of it. Okay? But when this person's alone, you guys, they think on this. Okay? So if you are giving this divine guidance to this person, I do feel when they're alone, they do ponder. So don't feel bad I don't feel bad when I trigger people. I never do. Unless I do a direct bullying or I do a direct act of vengeance to be mean, I don't feel bad. And I also don't feel bad for boundaries. Okay, so don't feel bad for that. All right. But you are your own blocks, you guys. If you say something can't happen, then you may manifest that in your life to not happen. But when you say this can't happen or this isn't possible, there's usually a fear behind it. So ask yourself why you feel that can't happen, because magic is so real. It's so real. Okay? This person watches you, so even if you piss off Mr. Denial King of America or offend them or trigger them or whatever your situation is here, they do watch, they do observe, they do think. So just know that you are planting the seed. Okay, so whether they act on it or not, I do feel they kind of sit there and go, you know, because I plant seeds all the time everywhere I go, and I know damn well that even if they get pissed home and think about it, okay? So, and my haters that snoop on my channel to watch, I'm glad I'm helping you too, right? So, that's how I see it. Okay, so if others are watching, then you're helping others as well, right? So, yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Okay, I'm starting to get a bit drained, so I'm going to pull some messages for you guys. And I'll leave my information below in the video uploads. And thanks for the donations, guys. I truly appreciate it. You're different. That's why I love you. I do think about the future. I think about you in it. I love you. So maybe they are getting their heart space to open. I don't know. You know, it's kind of everybody else. You guys, if this person has a partner they have a bunch of chaos with, there is some stuff surfacing involving money. I just heard that as well. Okay, because that's part of their karma for sitting in their demons. For all of us, to sit in our demons, I feel like that we're going to be pushed to sacrifice income and money and stuff like that, because that's part of the whole control behind it. Okay. I'm done running from this connection. I'm doing spell work on you. Probably sexual manifesting. I act happy, but I'm not. You influence me in ways nobody does. See? See? Okay, so even if Mr. Denial King gets pissy with you, you're influencing, you're seed planting. Okay, so unfortunately, guys, sometimes to get somebody to change is to bring the trigger out, okay? And you don't have to do it with vengeance. That's the thing. Some people think you got to trigger with vengeance. And I've had people try to bully me and go, what, you don't like the trigger? No, it's the disrespect. You know, it's the disrespect. That's different. It's the vengeance behind it. You're not triggering, you're projecting your own demons. Okay? So, but look, I just give the messages. I call things out. I will correct things to the best of my knowledge, but you know what? Your right is your right. Your reality is your reality. So that's for you to decide from there on out. However, the consequences of certain things is on you as well, or the benefits of it. So take that in consideration, okay? Don't be scared to plant seeds. You know, don't be scared to talk about the toxicity of your childhood. Don't be scared of to talk about that, because it will help other people. And I feel like it's like been taboo to discuss your childhood and to discuss these toxic cycles, so they remain hidden. So they, you know, so they don't ever get healed and looked at, okay? So you don't offend, so you don't upset, you know? So how do you know you're psychic? I don't know how to explain that. I don't know how to explain that. Because everybody's version of it's going to be different, and some of it is, you know, technology ran as well for some people, so it's quite okay. After the 11th, if you don't know if you're psychic or not, you'll figure it out then, okay? Because the AI is going to shut off. And I know that when the AI shuts off, some people, they're like, how come I can't feel my person now? How come I'm not getting this or that now? It's because it may have been artificially ran to begin with. I hope that makes sense as well. Because the last time it all shut off, people were saying that, like, I just don't feel like I can see or feel, or I don't feel my person. It's because there was an outside force behind it that was artificially ran. Okay? So that's when you find your true organic self, is when the AI shuts off. It hurts when it shuts off, but at the same time, it's going to help you get into your divine self, your whole self, without that artificial side of it. So there's so much. When does it? Um, it it's kind of complicated because it can go on and off all the time. But we've been picking up a massive shut off, and I keep getting the date 11/11. And then they purposely shut it off, for one, to help awakening, because there's a good side, and for two, because it gets people so crazy and wound up and depressed and angry and stuff, and it removes the blocks to all that. Because like medication for depression, for example, okay, it's also a lure for the dark side as well. When you take a medication for anxiety or depression and stuff like that, it literally puts like artificial device in your light body, is what I figured out. Or it literally like reroutes things, you know, if that makes sense. And it's artificially ran because it's literally like comfort over actually healing. And so when that comfort lives, so that artificial comfort lives, because pills do contribute to a lot of it, then people go to the doctor to get their medication upped or get on more medication. So it feeds big pharma. Okay, so then when it comes on really hard, so then you're more controlled. Okay, so it'll be a lot easier to get over addictions as well, because you won't get the same satisfaction off addictions, any addictions that are artificially numbing you. Okay, so it's also a lure for you to grab for your demons harder, but it's also a lure for you to find yourself more. Okay. Yeah, the false twin and the real twin, you guys. Don't even worry about that either, because everyone crosses your path to help you. I don't know. I think a lot of the concept behind twin flames, I'm not saying it's not real, because I feel like it's somebody that comes in and triggers your biggest wounds. But I feel like the concept behind it, there's nothing false or right about it. I feel like the concept behind it has promoted almost toxicity in some cases, or prison yourself down to programming, into labels, into ego. There's so much ego behind twin flames. It's unreal. It's been human developed from the ego anymore. Everything behind it. Okay? Because you're not half a soul. I don't, that's bullshit. You can have somebody come in and trigger a mirror image of your wounded inner masculine and their own wounded inner feminine or masculine and that sort of thing. It's just the half a soul thing. I never really could grasp that. It's weird. It's just, I don't know about you, but I felt born me. So, yeah. Um, I don't know. So don't worry about labels as much. And just remember that nobody's divine till they're in the divine whole self. That's what a divine and human is. Yes, false information would be correct. Because you guys, twin flame stuff feeds the elite just as much as Big Pharma. And just as much as Walmart. Okay? And just like the Walmarts are one size fits all, so we're supposed to be twin flames. Right? um... Did it help you, Heather? Did you get it? He's really good. He's really good at what he does, and he's very, like, picky. You know, he's very picky. So, but there's a benefit, you know? Like, you graduate out of the program and expel, right? Without an expectation. You learn from the program. My husband does a lot of like cord removals, and we both work with like facing and releasing karma, that sort of thing, and that's what his position is. And he helps a lot of you ladies, because I know a lot of you ladies listen to him better. Okay, he's always had ladies listen to him real good, but if they listen to me like you're a bitch, but they listen to him, they listen to him. That's why sometimes I have him talk to people. Okay. And I noticed that males tend to listen to me better, so. I think women, they listen to a man in their divine self. They like it, okay? They'll listen to the guidance of somebody in their divine self, and I don't know, I just feel like that like the advice from a male. And we went through a lot to get where we're at. So if I were to tell you it was I got told he was a karmic. I got told he was my twin flame, like whatever, you know. I don't give a shit. It doesn't even matter. I had karma with him. Yeah, absolutely. Many past lives of it, just like you guys probably did with whoever you're in here. So, I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't think he was ready to come on here because there was some issues with people attacking, and it was like jealousy and stuff. And they're like, what are you doing with him? He's just your karmic. And there was stuff like that and comments. And I knew there was some people saying shit because I had to delete a lot of comments calling us karmics and fakes. And he was getting a lot of energetic, dark energy around him that he was continuously dealing with. And we figured out it was a lot of people that were mad or jealous and not wanting to believe that he can be a healed man and be in his divine self, you know, and he had cycles to heal too. We all do. Okay, we all do. And I'm not saying he's always been perfect, because that's a lie. So it's like, okay, so somebody can't heal because you're going to call them a karmic, or you're going to call them what you feel they are, but somebody that you're promoting and something else can, or who you're dealing with can. How does this make sense? That only certain people can heal and others can't. That's bullshit. That's what I'm saying. If you're with a partner that you have a lot of karma with, you can have a new beginning if you truly want to have that. Okay? So, my husband and I had a lot of family patterns to clear. So, there was a lot of different things to clear, and it took a lot of time. It took ups and downs. It did. So, and then I got told, you're lying to your collective because they thought that he was only a karmic and he was only this. And then another person's like, oh, he's your twin flame. And he's, okay, whatever. I'll decide what he is, you know what? And he has a name and he has an individuality and he's not a label. That's not his name. So, yeah, you're welcome. I'm getting tired though. We all do. Every one of us has toxic shit to clear. And I said that to some people that project. I'm like, if you don't think you have toxic stuff too to deal with, you're wrong. You're wrong. We all, every single one of us right now. Yeah, I did. I worked to heal, and you know, like I said, I'm not perfect. I have bad days. I'd be lying. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. I don't need to tell my personal life. I don't owe anyone an explanation. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, "Oh, my life's just perfect every day." That'd be such a lie. There's days I have bad days just like you do. There's days where I get back into toxic thoughts like you do. Okay, so there's days I want to snap on people, so I have to just stay away from, doing readings and stuff. So, everyone is loved, you guys, but just accept love from others, and not just give to someone who doesn't give back all the time. You just wear yourself right out, if that makes sense. There's abundance in this world for everybody. It's just a matter of finding it and accepting it. Yeah, eventually he might talk on here. I don't know. He's kind of like, he's a little bit shy with like talking. I was that way for a long time too, but he's a little bit, if you met him in person, he'll talk your head off, but he's a little bit weird about talking, on here or like in front of a crowd and stuff. He gets nervous. But he's like a big, like muscular, like guy, like huge, and I think you'd be surprised. Some he would. So yeah. Yep, as you clear it, you start freeing your family. But sometimes it does take a disconnect and to just self-focus for a while for them to see their cycles as well, because sometimes you were the block or the cushion to them. Hiccups and acid reflux is the solar plexus. And also, you guys, like, another thing I don't encourage listening to is telling you on a certain portal you're going to get some sort of installment of a program and stuff. I'd be careful with that, okay? Because I've been reading a lot of stuff like, oh, on the 11 portal, you're going to have the new programming installed, and, huh? You know? Um, that's why there's a lot of ego behind spirituality. There's a lot of stuff that is still control or program. A lot of them are incorrect. A lot of them promise something that doesn't happen, and my collective is so hurt. And, some of them have some harsh reality that's happening right now, and they're devastated. Okay, because they got told a timeline, they got told this certain shift would happen, and it didn't. So that's why I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. Right? There's an offer coming in. They love you. They just, yeah. Yeah, I can't do that. Well, in the 1111 portal, you guys, just so you know, there's going to be this light code coming down. This 1, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 14 light code that's going to install your new programming, whatever. Okay? Your new programming installment. And it's going to open up new opportunities. Well, wouldn't that be kind of a control? I'm just going, um, how about the 1111 as a chance at a new beginning for you? Because it is a shift, because there's going to be a lot of shut off in what's controlling you right now. Okay, that's why people are going to start fighting and shit, because they're going to go nuts and go to the doctor and need more pills and whatnot. And I have a feeling psych wards are going to fill up too, but that's another story. So How about that's a new beginning for you, a new chance, not your new programming installment. I don't know. And how many of you guys got told every single year Lionsgate was going to be the union? And like I've been hearing that for a long time, and I tell people, please don't rely on that. You'll hurt yourself. Thanks for the donation. Oh, the union portals, the 8-8 portal, the 9-9. Oh, I get so sick of hearing it for so long. I just like, I do believe there's shifts. I do believe there's energetic shifts during those and stuff like that, but I don't believe you can determine the result necessarily, so. I don't know. Yes. In my readings, I ask for collective energy. Okay. And I think some are reading themselves, maybe. I don't know. I don't really watch anybody. So, I was telling a bunch, my collective like, find your 3D Archangel Michael. That's what you deserve. One that's like, both, like balanced. Archangel Michael, he is the fighter, he is the alpha boy, he's the alpha man. Well, yeah, like I was saying, we hear Archangel Michael calls. I've come to that conclusion. It's so weird. Because we're like, oh my god, I gotta contact this person, like something's going on. And it's like they're asking for protection or asking for something. And we hear it. It's so crazy. It's like, wow, that is so weird. It's so weird. Yeah, because you guys are getting tempted by your demons again, so it's triggering more healing. Okay, that's what's happening. Oh, my husband is, and I am too. Like I said, some nights we send out a message, or I do, or one of us does, because he does it too, and then people are like, "Oh my God, I had a dream about you. You came to me," and it's like, wow, that was weird. Because I'll send out an idea or a manifestation, and then a bunch of people like talk about it. I'm like, that is so weird. It's so weird how that stuff works. It's like you're sending out through the light consciousness. A lot of people dream about me, so I obviously am like traveling. I think it's more of my conscious traveling, probably. I don't know. Biden can't make us do anything. I'm not even scared. He's just a little bitch or whatever. I'm not worried about that. Yeah, that's when people are like, you talk to me and stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. I was sleeping, but it's cool. Except one time somebody said I came in and was having sex with them multiple times, and it was some feminine that messaged me, and I was like, no, I didn't. That was somebody shape shifting. Has to be. Well, I like to eat, so it probably was dinner. I like to eat. I think what was happening when some of those like lovely people were going around and watching and putting implants on people, I probably got an implant put on me, and it made it so they could shapeshift into me and do that stupid shit. Because all this sexual energy going out as well that people feel all the time and call it ascension, no, it's energy thieving. Okay, if you're not consensually having astral sex with somebody, there's somebody energy thieving on you. Okay, so if you're sitting there and get an orgasm or something, and yeah, all right. Yeah, I've had implants, I've had cores, I can feel them now and know where they're getting put on, so I get them like removed right away. I've had like webs around my brain and it's so messed up. I saw somebody comment on Facebook the other day. So when do we get those devices on us that, you know, see what we're doing and um like, see our divine self or something like that? I'm like, what? You want the AI? Okay? That device is your phone. Your phone is watching you all the time. Your phone is taking data all the time. That device is your phone. Okay? That's what it is. Yeah, I've had that webbing thing removed, and I felt my husband like he'll dig into my light body and take it out, and I can feel it like it's digging in my head. And he pulled on it, I could feel the webbing come off my brain. I went, "Ouch, that hurt." That was so weird. It's creepy. It's like this is like really weird. I could feel him digging in my head. Ugh. Oh yeah. Some people, when they get clearings from us, they actually see us come and do them. They're that in tune with themselves that they know when we come in and clear them. They'll see us. It's crazy. Some of them don't. Some of them just feel the side effects. But yep, there was one 2 days ago. Some of the AI went off a few people. What's been happening is basically the dark side kind of just releases and surrenders to trying to fuck you up, okay? So it happened to me. It's like the dark just, they kind of gave up. And it's for a lot of you that got into your divine self the most, I feel. Okay, so what happened is like they feel like they're just, you found your divine self, let's say, or you're in more of your divine self, or you're not going to back down for them, okay, and go back to the toxicity. And they're like, okay, this is a waste of our time and our energy. So they released some people the other day, and they take that so they can have more power on the others. Okay, so I feel like there's going to be shifts of this happening. Okay, it all depends on where you're at with your path, and if you're still like really struggling, or you're still in a place of not feeling like you can do it anymore, or you're not, hopeful, or you're still, triggered all the time, or offended, or you're in that wounded energy still, you're probably still working on yourself yet. Okay, so there was a group that got released the other day, and it happened to me, and I had a really tough day the next day, and I figured out what it was is I was so used to the demons and the attacks and all that, I was looking for them and they weren't there, and I was searching for that false comfort that I didn't need it. So I do believe, Lone Wolf, you would be one because you've been pretty strong, so I've been watching you. Okay, I do believe that. But, I can kind of tell who probably was. I don't like look or see or anything, but I can kind of tell. Because I do watch people. I watch my collective. I observe. I take mental note. Okay, so there is a couple that I'm pretty sure were probably it. I didn't go check for sure, but I just have a gut feeling. I do watch. I observe you guys. I take mental note. Okay, I notice certain people, I just do. I have a inner knowing or things like that. So if you have a lot of work, you'll know. And if you admit it to yourself, that's a big step. That's a big step. Because there's so many people that are pretend healing, and I've done it too, where it's like, oh, I'm healed. And it's like, no, then you get a good crack in the ass and a reminder. Because I know that I still have a few flaws. I know that. However, I'm getting a lot better with recognizing, the triggers, or, recognizing it now so I can stop it. So, Was I watching you, Heather? I don't know. Sometimes I do, like, energetically too. Sometimes people come to me energetically, so it just depends. I saw some people trying to dig their third eye out the last couple days, and I've texted some of them, like, quit being scared. What? I'm like, you're digging your third eye out. Your higher self is trying to, like, shut it when it's opening, okay? And they're like, I'm not. And I'm like, yes, you are, because you're sitting there trying to find excuses for, not seeing, or excuses why you don't want to see, or ways to get rid of it, right? So then they're like higher self is sitting there like, ah, like trying to shut their third eyes. It's like, don't deny it. Don't even deny. Because I used to do that because my husband be like, you're up there just like your higher self's like trying to shut your third eye, and I'm like, and then I realized, yeah, because I am having fear. Okay, and I'm not wanting to see, and I'm not wanting to face. So yeah, the class is on how to heal. There's no right way. That's why my collective, there's so many different levels of it. As and some of you may get to the full release and some of you may not, but some of you are going to still grow to a certain extent. It doesn't matter. I don't care, you know, but because some people get to their full potential in this lifetime and then come back and grow more. You get what I'm saying? So, or you may grow later and like whatever. It doesn't matter to me because it's just a mystery. Oh, a class? So a programming. That's why I don't. That's why I always hated school. Why do I have to go to school to have wisdom? It's so stupid. Because my 5-year-old is extremely bright for her age, and she does a lot of her self-learning. We guide her, but she does a lot of it herself. That sounds about right. It's teaching, yeah. Yeah, that sounds right, Heather, probably. I call people out when they say they make excuses. I'll be like, no, you're making an excuse. And then they'll play victim. I'm like, no, you're making an excuse. You know? And I'll be like, if you don't want to see it, that's fine. If you don't want to listen to me, that's fine. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I don't care. But you are making an excuse. So, solar plexus, a lot of times when people are trying to take your power away, and you have to allow it, you guys. You're allowing it. If people put cords on you, you're allowing it. But yeah, there's always, when people are dictating who you are, even if it's your masculine, and you're trying to live your life to fit their expectations, or within expectations, or trying to fit your life to be for them, so to speak, that's when they hijack your solar plexus a lot. Okay, or people do in general. So anytime you're living life for somebody else, under somebody else, and that sort of thing, it's a solar plexus hijack. Like schools, I feel, program a lot of the solar plexus as well. Okay, because it's taking some of your power away. So every time there's cords in your chakra system, it's allowing some of you to be taken away and controlled by somebody else. The heart chakra is a huge one that gets controlled. A huge one. Control from the heart space. Every time somebody guilt trips you and you fall for it, you're getting a cord in your heart. Because they're playing with your heart. They're playing with your empath side. They're manipulating you to dictate with the heart space. Okay? And I know there's a lot of females that do that with men a lot to get what they want. You don't care about me. We've all been there, right? So, emotional manipulation sells. It makes a lot of money. They use their chakra system for money. That sounds so messed up. Control with money and stability takes the base, hijacks the base. Worry about money, concern, and control with money takes your base. So if you're waiting for inheritance and you're worried about the inheritance and you're living your life for the inheritance, you're letting somebody take your base chakra. Because that's where worry about money and stability and that sort of thing comes. And all these kind of toxic things are going to come to a stop, basically. Or there's going to be consequence. Or like, if you're waiting for some sort of abundance that has bad juju, that abundance will disappear or something will sabotage it. Because that's where justice is coming in. So, I know a lot of people waiting for inheritance. And they're probably going to be shocked that it either won't happen or there'll be a catch behind it. Or, you know, they just ruin their whole life for it. So is it worth it? You know? To take away from your divine self for fucking money? Is that really worth it? Oh yeah, men do it bad. Men do it bad. That's stupid. I don't get it. Or saving, you know, your child from pain all the time so they don't face anything ever. I don't get that either. They gotta face some uncomfort. Counselor, yeah. I wish they would use it. That's what we need to do. We need to balance this stuff out. So we have therapists with that. And, you know, I think in some ways therapy and stuff like that, it's driven so you sit in your wounds and come back for that blankie. Okay? It's like the concept of and just listen to you bitch and moan so you can come back and bitch and moan the next time. Or saying you don't have to ever forgive people. Well, okay, so that's training you to sit in a wound and keep coming back. You know what I'm saying? I don't want people to have to come to me. I'm happy as hell when they're like, oh, I'm good, you know, I feel confident myself. Good, I'm glad. I don't watch your channel anymore because I feel that I'm doing well. Okay, good. I don't want people. And like my husband, he's like, I have people that keep coming from cord cuts. I don't want them to. And I'm like, I know. So give them more guidance. You know? It's not, you can't utilize it. You can't get the help. It's just that we want you to grow. We don't want to see you need it. Okay, if that makes sense. You know, you don't want to be dependent. There's a healthy dependency with balance, you know, but you don't want to be dependent on other people. They trick you into that. I hate it. Like, oh, you need therapy for the rest of your life. What? Like, I don't know. I hated therapy. It was stupid. I had one therapist that I really liked, and she helped me find parts of my divine self, and she was really good, and then she ended up quitting. So, it can be useful, but there's some where it's like, you gotta find the one that's actually helping you grow, because some of it is promoting, like, sitting in wounded, you know? Like, you don't have to forgive. You don't have to ever forgive. You know, it's like, okay, so just sit in that wound. I wish it was more like, let's teach people how to heal their inner feminine masculine, and let's teach people how to heal their wounds and what healing your wounds really consists of. Okay? So we can use devices and crutches for a while, like medications and stuff like that, you know, and whatnot. Because I'm still on a medication for anxiety. Okay? And I've been trying to get off it for quite some time. So, I don't want to be on it permanently, though. It's like setting up so it's like a business. So you keep coming back. You know? It can be a crutch, yeah. There's really good ones, though. There are good ones. You can find them. And the one that I found, she was into spiritual stuff, like just believing in faith, you know. So she did help me balance some things and just see things. So it was kind of cool. That is the best healing, is to find your divine self. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They set it up so we feel like we need somebody. That's why people are like, oh my gosh, we're going to get this president in, don't worry. Or this president's going to save me. It's like, no, don't worry about that. I do have crystals, but when you get to a certain vibration, they don't really work the same anymore. It's kind of weird, but it's true. I have crystals and I have stones and stuff, but yeah, and that's when, like, I know when the AI shuts off here. I've warned a few people that I know are on medications and stuff. They're not going to work as good. So it's going to be, oh my God, I need to change my medication. I'm going to go psycho, you know. um, but that's how people need to awaken too. So there's a mixed blessing. There's going to be war, though. I hate to say it. Yeah. People are going to get real nasty after 11th. Just be ready. Okay, it's not going to take a wounded person. I mean, it's going to be tough to be a wounded person. It's going to be tough to let people feed off, not let people feed on your own inner wounds and stuff. It's going to take a strong person. Oh, my pregnancy's fine. He moves quite a bit now, but I'm not feeling, he's still little yet and faces the back. Sometimes I don't feel it that much right now. So soon though. That's another thing. I had a lot of people hating on my pregnancy because he's going to be a really powerful boy. So people were sending hate on that as well, and it's just ridiculous. People think their thoughts don't manifest. They do. So when you actually find a divine connection, you guys, I mean, that's where the attacks come in. When you're actually with a divine connection in your full healed state. Okay? That's when the attacks come. It's from people, as I was saying. It is. And I've warned people of that, and the demons try to lure the connection apart because of the power with it. Because it actually changes the world. It really does. There's truth to that. But to blame somebody, everyone else, for not getting to that divine connection, that's your fault to not find that. That's your fault, because there's not just one option. And if there is, you guys, you'll get there by finding yourself. Okay? So I feel okay. I'm just tired of that. What did she explain to you? The divine self and the connections? Yeah, it's the first boy. But it's, a boy conceived when we're in a divine self, because the other girls were conceived more when we're in a more wounded state. So I think it's going to be quite different. They do. When you're in your divine self, that's when they attack. More or less what attacks when you're not with somebody and you're not in your divine self and you're longing and blaming and, living out of the emotional wound, and they are as well. It's your own self doing it, really, if you think about it. It's your self-created blocks. So then I feel like the twin flame programming goes, oh, I can't even stand twin flame term anymore, the way it's been presented. Divine connection, whatever, is that you only have one option, and that's it. And it's everyone else's fault why you're not with this person. That's kind of what it's promoting to me. Well, that does correlate with the rest of the world, right? To blame everybody else for your problem instead of dealing with it. So then people in this, mindset are blaming everybody else for the wound. So that's where it's like, it's the karmic, it's the mother, it's their job. When it's like, okay, but maybe it's your wound. this blocking, or your wound is allowing this block to affect you more or less. So I feel like in some sense it does cause you to hold back yourself. I've really put this together a lot. I always thought the whole presentation of the whole thing was a bit faulty anyways, so I've been really dissecting for quite a long time with the observation of my collective and myself and everything else that's presented. So have children. Yeah, and that's another thing. Everybody's like, oh, wait till you have kids. You know, the hard life when you have kids. And I'm like, why does that have to be punishment? You know what makes parenting hard? The program around it. The schools. Going to work and not spending time with your kids. And, you know, that's what makes it hard. Because I don't think it's that bad. And, you know, we do homeschooling and we only do so much at a time. I don't force them to do 8 hours a day and then 3 hours of homework. I don't force them to feel stressed. I don't force them to learn one way only. And I don't force them to take a bunch of classes they don't want to take. You know, or, you know, like force them to only focus on that. So, because I'm like, I don't think it's not, I mean, yeah, it's stressful. It's not that bad. And then my kids help each other. They help take care of each other, you know? So, it's not that bad. I don't know. I think schools, like, really can shatter a child sometimes. It's awful. Putting those poor kids in that stress. I don't like it. But that's how they get them to slave, right? Try to tell people that. They get so offended by that. When you tell them schools are stressful, enslaving the kids, they get so pissed. Oh boy. They get mad. So did I. It was too easy and it was stupid. That's what, stupid. I hated it. I was too cool for school. Oh yeah, and they feed the bullies. Especially the emotional manipulating bullies. The hidden bullies. The crybabies, the tattletales, the people that don't deal with their own shit. Okay, that's some of the bully right there. That's just annoying. They are, but I refuse to raise kids that way, and I don't want to expose them to that training. So they're going to have hard times in their own. I don't need to add to it. When I was young, we had a lot better school. It's when we combined with other towns and made a bigger school. That's where problems really got bad. And they started changing things and changing, you know, rules and, you know. So there was a time where I liked it too, but it was only the first 3 years. And then shit got bad, so. Oh, I know, I didn't have many friends or anything, but that's okay. I see it as more of a protection. Yep, and they took that out. For some people, yeah, school's the safer place. I don't really... I always felt like I wanted to run away. I had this feeling I wanted to run away. Well, I think it was running away from the control behind everything. I always felt like I needed to run away. I don't know, it was weird. Yeah, I think almost all of us were bullied. I think we were meant to be. I think we were meant to experience the dark of a lot of shit that people don't see. You know? Yeah, I was too. Picked on and... Oh, well, I don't care. And then the pressure to conform. The pressure to be really skinny. the pressure to be this, and because when I was in school, it was cool to be like super skinny, you know, like the girls that were just a straight, you know, no curves or anything. That was really attractive, and it was so much pressure to be that. So then you felt like you were just ugly or fat, and they don't really encourage you to be yourself, and that's what I don't like. Oh, they are too, pedo. I know, they're perverts, some teachers. Oh, yeah. They can be real gross. There was some weird situations even in our little schools that came out, so... Yeah, I know. Bye. Yeah, I felt fat all my life, and then I started to actually have a weight problem and stuff. And you know, I was thicker in high school. I was thicker, but I wasn't like this morbidly obese thing that I thought I was. You know, so yeah, they are because we were born to be silent. They try to silence us because we were going to be part of this. That's why we're part of this. So the silencing began really young, and then the programs tried to lure us in to trick us. Once we started discovering the gift we had, so we run on a program instead of ourselves. Like there's a lot of obstacles, you know. And then people see you in your confidence and they just want to steal it from you. No, that doesn't work. And one of the biggest things that draws people to naturally target somebody who's awake is the big bright eyes. Children with big, because they see, right? So there's a natural target on that. And then the Rh negative blood type as well is a natural target. So there's people that are designed, it's installed in their subconscious to target the children that are awake. Because I remember at school being targeted by teachers too, and it's like, why? You know, why are you targeting me? Like, and at jobs too. I think it was also to get me out of the programming shit, and I wasn't meant to work under somebody and stuff like that. So I can't remember that I was reading. There's a book about it, about awakened children, and it was like something in big eyes, and I can't remember it. But yeah, the big eyes is a really. And sometimes I can look at the eyes and the shape of them and the size, like, tells me, you know, it's a good reader and stuff, too. I can just see it. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, the big bright eyes was a huge one. And my girls, especially my middle one, and I know she's gonna be the one probably with the most power, even though she's quiet right now. But she's got the same shaped eyes I do, and they're just like so huge. She has these big eyes, and she kind of just stands there and she looks and she watches, you know. It's so funny. They say that the bigger your eyes are, the more you see. And I noticed my eyes were smaller when I was younger, and they've gotten bigger, like more round and stuff. And when I see people in the spirit realm, you know, that are awakening, like trying to shut their own third eyes and stuff, when I text them, I'm like, stop being scared and they'll act stupid. I'm like, no, you're having thoughts, you're having doubts, you're trying to find excuses and denial. And I'm like, don't shut your third eye. It's what helps you see. Okay, it's what helps you see. Your third eye is your best weapon. Leave that shit open. And they'll be like, I'm not doing that. It's like, no, you're doubting yourself. That's what you're doing. So, And sometimes when we do clearings on people too, when we find them or whatever, they're sitting there like, ah, and they have their hand over their crown and their eye or their heart or something. And it's just kind of funny, to watch, but they're freaking out. Or you see them like running in circles, freaking out. I don't know. So when people tell me they're not scared, I can, yeah. Yeah, Mr. Denial King, Mrs. Denial King, I can see it. Your third eye is your best weapon. They try to close it from the day you're born. They do. They try to close it from the day you're born. I know, I wish I could, yeah, some of the stuff I see is just, oh my goodness. You wouldn't even believe it. I think people are shocked when I tell them things and they'll try to deny. Oh, you're telling me what I am. It's like, dude, I don't think you realize I can see. And your actions are speaking to me too. So whatever, you're just trying to doubt my intuition and so the top of your head touch. It could be because when people do touch your head, they take energy out of your crown too. Sometimes when I'm out in public, I put a hat on to cover my crown. Trauma closes it, but when you're born, think of all the procedures, the vaccines and circumcision and the tests and things like that they do on kids and babies and stuff like that. It's for immediate, it's to start the closure process. And they try to have it all closed, especially like the crown and the third eye are very important together. So by like, I think it's about 8 months or so, their goal is to have that closed in full control. So yeah, fluorides, yep. I think the nasty procedures they do on babies and the vaccines is just horrific. It's awful. It's awful. Yeah, ultrasound. I get ultrasounds, but not that much. But yeah, I agree. They try to push C-section, and they try to push it pretty hard. I think they're trying to alter us so we don't have natural birth, so we're reliant on the medical 100%. Because it does change humankind. These procedures change, the genetics and stuff. So, and I do feel like my second was induced, and I do feel when you interrupt the natural process of coming to this world, it can alter things, yeah. So, I know that some of her traumas from that induction, because that was hell. It was hell. And think about some procedures done nowadays does interrupt natural selection as well, if you really think about it. I'm not saying that to be cruel or anything, but it kind of does. 11:11. I was like 10:06 or something, I think. I think C-sections, don't you think it kind of does interrupt like the natural like birth time and stuff? I've always wondered that too. If it interrupts some things, and I suppose it would induce trauma too if the baby's not, going through the natural process, possibly. I'm all for, if you gotta do what you gotta do, but I feel like they push it on purpose for money too. Because I've seen people get talked into C-sections. Oh, well, we don't think it's gonna fit through the hips. You guys, I know people that birthed 11 pounders, and it was fine. So, I think I was natural. I know my husband was natural too. Like, just came on own. Well, you know, you guys, for some of you, I'm sure you were the most horrific birth ever. Sure, you're just the most horrific birth ever. I can't remember my weight, 8'6" maybe. With my last child, I let the umbilical cord drain on its own. And that's what I did. I don't know, I was thinking about doing a home birth with this one, especially if they're going to push Rona bullshit, because I'm not following that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to have a miserable birth of my child to satisfy everybody else. So I was saying I'm doing water birth. Oh God, your poor mothers birthing such legends. I'm so sorry to hear that. Of course he does. That's why I tell people in Australia, you're not free. You're not free. You're being tracked and controlled. You're manipulated. Like being inside a dark body, yep. Yep. For some of you, that is true. I've already came to that conclusion a long time ago. If they give you grief about it, just like, what do you think giving birth to a legend is going to be easy? Just say that. I mean, I don't know. I'm a smartass. Why would you hold a child's birth on them? That is so rotten. My second one was horrible with that induction. Oh my goodness, but I would never ever hold that on her. Poor thing. Mean. Like, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Maybe if you whine about something enough, you'll get a present for the horrific experience. I don't know what the hell the problem is. Whatever. Okay. I sat here and blabbed for 3 hours again. Oh, Helen, really? Because I heard like, not quite that extent. I heard that, or a similar thing. I was supposed to do readings tonight, but I might just kind of go rest and do some tomorrow. Alright, I'm gonna get off, you guys. This is like 3 hours, and I'll be surprised if people actually watch it, but oh well. Have a good night, guys. Bye.